on a YouTube video.
Ugh.
You scare us
I'm sure
every time you do this, Travis.
Maybe somebody has. Who knows? Anyway, hey, we're live. By the way, it is the Alaboom. It is June 7th, 2017. We are joined by... Hey, Anthony just showed up. We are joined by the regular zoo crew of Pete Cherry. And, well, Travis Chance is making a rare appearance as of late.
Drive-by appearance.
Yeah, totally.
A literal drive-by.
Keith is here, and he's in an aquarium, it looks like.
Basically, you're correct.
Anthony, I brought you Joe Wiggins.
Fetch me, Joe Wiggins.
Yep.
But Mr. Wiggins is here.
Congrats on the new job, Joe.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you don't work that night shift anymore, right?
Yeah. Got off of my 60-hour third shift crap thing and got onto the new thing, and it's pretty awesome. I really like it.
And how is working at the Adult Film Festival?
There was a lot of detail in that sentence.
The Adult Film Festival scene is pretty good, a lot of groping hands, but as long as you just kind of move with it, kind of roll it off your shoulders, it works pretty well.
Yeah. So okay, Joe, why don't you actually tell the crowd what you do?
He's a fluffer.
Yep, basically. I make sure that the bikini lines are glued down. So, no.
You struck me as a fluffer.
Wow, no love
5 seconds ago, Travis.
No, I work for Panda Games, so I work on the manufacturing side of things. I started this job about a month ago, and so I'm just kind of getting my feet wet in it. Going to be at Origins as a full-fledged Panda, but no, it's been pretty cool working in this side of the hobby and kind of having a job where I get to work from home and just kind of enjoy life. So,
Hey, I got some replacement parts I need.
Yeah, one of my meeples is missing a leg. Can you take care of that for me?
I got a cube that's got a divot out of it about 1 millimeter wide by 0.0 millimeters deep. Can you fix that?
Probably.
You're doing God's work, Joe.
I assume these are the dumbass kind of questions you get.
All right, so we do have a guest. Well, Pete had. We'll get to your ridiculous job here in just a moment, Joe. But I do know that Shane's time is a little bit limited. So, Shane, a friend of Mr. Shirey, as it were. Shane, you seem to have some cool stuff in the background there on your wall.
Yeah, it was better than the blank wall. This is our new offices, and it's pretty barren here.
And what do you represent there, Shane? Who are you representing today?
So I own Pinnacle Entertainment Group. We make Deadlands, Savage Worlds, a bunch of RPGs you've probably heard of. And we also are part of Pulposaurus, where we're making the Conan Rise of Monsters game. And this is the cool banner for Conan right there behind you. So it was better than the pile of trash in the corner of the office there.
Excellent stuff.
My home office has cool stuff, but you caught me at work, so here we are.
Oh, you're still at work? Good for you. You keep working.
The work and home are kind of the same for me, but yeah, sure.
He's another West Coast guy, so he's on the 3-hour time delay.
Yeah, well, Arizona, we kind of make our own time here. But if you hear any background noise, we do actually have playtesters in the main room playing Conan right now, which is why I can't stay more than probably a while here. But they don't seem to be killing each other, so I guess it's going all right so far.
So you're here. I mean, I hate to be blunt, but you're here to pimp something to us, aren't you? You're here to talk about something pretty cool.
I try not to do that too much. I'm a terrible sales guy and a hack designer. But June 13th will be the Kickstarter for Conan Rise of Monsters, which is actually the relaunch of it. We tried it 2 years ago and it went okay, but it wasn't what we really wanted it to be. So we took the criticism that folks gave us, most of which was constructive, and have the relaunch in 6 days here. And I think people will be happy with what we're offering this time. We've also been showing, we partnered up with Reaper Minis. They did the official Conan terrain for us, and we've been releasing that on the Conan webpage, and that stuff kicks ass. I think people will really dig that.
Very cool. Now, that photo behind you, if I am looking at it. Well, maybe it isn't. It looks kind of like Lankmar, but no, that's Conan. That is Conan, isn't it? Because I remember.
That's Conan. I also did Lankmar
Yes.
for Savage Worlds, and I wrote the old D&D Lankmar for TSR2.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, he's got a very big history in the gaming industry. If he went through his list of stuff, you've probably read or played a lot of it.
Well, I mean, the city of Lankmar. I mean, that's. I mean, I remember reading all those books, and I remember playing in that setting with my D&D world. Wow.
Yeah, you know what's actually cool? So one of our partners at Pulposaurus that we're doing Conan with is Tim Brown. Tim Brown created Dark Sun and was the creative director at TSR back during the Ravenloft, Dark Sun days, etc. He is related to Fritz Leiber, who did Lankmar, and is part of the estate. Yeah.
Well, that's really cool. I mean, I've played Savage Worlds, you know, like the system a few times, you know, and I've definitely stolen lots of stuff, lots of ideas from it for our like homebrew system that we have. So, wow, cool, man! It's cool just to talk to you. Yeah, that's awesome. So, So tell us about the game that you're gonna be doing in 6 days.
So, Conan Rise of Monsters is, you know, you guys before the show started, we were talking a little bit about how many games we have on our shelves that we never get to play. I think it's even worse with miniatures games, right? You get all these miniatures, they're on sprues, you got to cut them off, you got to assemble them, you got to paint them, and there's a lot of joy in that. I enjoy that too. But with this game, we really wanted you to be able to pop the box open and play it, and that's what we did. So we made a pre-painted miniatures game that you literally can pop out of the box and be playing in a few minutes. The rule book is very short, there's a lot of art in it, but the strategy is pretty deep. Most of the stuff we built into the fate cards, the unit cards, that kind of stuff. So it was kind of interesting. We brought on a guy named Mac Martin who did a lot of the weird Malifaux 2nd edition work, and Mac said, you know, you need to do this, this, and this for the tournament scene that you're not really hitting these points quite right. And he was absolutely right, and we did fix a lot of that stuff. But we did a live stream about 2 or 3 weeks ago from a local game store, and we had, you know, we advertised it and said we were doing it. We had no idea who would show up, and this guy showed up with his son to play the game, and you know they hopped right in. They started playing and having a great time right from turn one, and it kind of reminded me that while we definitely need to make sure we're addressing the tournament scene, that really it is a casual, I don't want to say beer and pretzels, but it's an easy to play game with deep strategy that you really do get right out of the box. So a lot of the criticism that we got last time, and we're going to get again, is that people want to paint their own miniatures. That's not our license. That's not what we're going to do, and it's not the game that I wanted to make and needed in my partners. So I think if people watch the Let's Play and some of that kind of stuff, they'll understand what we were going for. And I think, and I can say this because my partners did more work than I did on the design of it. I think they hit it out of the park. It's just a blast to play, and I hope it's not too distracting. But the laughing you're hearing out of the room next door is people playing Conan. So
yeah, could you tell them to shut up?
Hey, shut up.
No. So I went to your website and I just grabbed I'm screen sharing. Is that what they're going to look like? I mean, is that?
They are. So those are actually production models, and that was the other.
Take my money.
I appreciate that. So we wanted, we didn't want it to be crappy. Let's not name names, but some of the early companies that did pre-painted stuff, they weren't so great, right? We wanted this to be something that 75% of the customers, that's probably how they would paint, right? Now 25% can absolutely do better than this. And I think what's kind of cool is some of the guys who are playing here locally, they take these as the base and then they add their own highlights and that kind of stuff to make them really shine. But they are good right out of the box.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Yeah.
Well, it's cost, right? It's how much you want to pay, and that's why they're a little more expensive than usual. And it's also because they're not on sprues. Somebody else already, put them together, assembled them, glued them, sanded them, painted them, all that stuff.
So 6 days from now that goes live, huh?
6 days from now, yeah. And they're still coming in at less than about $5 a model.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
That's awesome.
Keith, did you take the red pill or what's going on over here?
He's wearing his sunglasses at night.
Well, I was just going to say.
I'm on the beach. I might as well wear sunglasses.
There you go.
Because I haven't seen the sun since I've freaking been here. So
Keith is so hot he needs to wear shades.
All right. Well, I just Googled up I just Googled up the Pulposaurus website for the Rise of Monsters, and yeah, I mean I go to if you're listening to this, just go to Pulposaurus. It's just how you'd guess, or you can just Google search Conan Rise of Monsters, and you can check that stuff out. It looks really cool, man. I can't wait to see this on Kickstarter. I'll have to check it out. So, what's the entry point on it? Like, if you like the base set, I suppose.
The core set is 30 miniatures, all the unit cards, dice, tokens, the fate deck, everything you need. That's $150.
150 bones, huh? And I suppose you got 1,000 other things that you can add on and play with, right?
There are. You can buy any of the minis, the units separately, and then we have the Warlord expansion, which is another 25 miniatures, and that has some of the bigger monsters in it, like the Devil from the Outer Dark, and a dragon, which it's not really a dragon, it's a T-Rex. If you read some of the, we embrace the Conan comics as much as the original Howard stories, and there's a great issue where Roy Thomas and team, I guess Barry Windsor Smith, illustrated what Conan calls a dragon, but it's of course primordial T-Rex, and that sucker's in this game too. And I just tore up some guys with it about 20 minutes ago. It was pretty awesome.
Very cool. Well, thanks, man. I mean, I appreciate you joining us too. And it's just you wrote all that stuff that I played all those years ago. So thank you very much for doing that. I got a lot of enjoyment out of it.
Things we played more recently too. I was an executive producer on Neverwinter, the video game. Worked on City of Heroes, City of Villains, so I'm happy to talk about it.
I love City of Heroes and Villains.
Isn't that awesome?
Well, why did that go away? Why did that crumble and die?
I was long gone by then, but I know all the people there still, and it's not a fun story. It's really just kind of a corporate story. It's different offices and the way money's allocated between studios, blah blah blah.
Aren't they planning on relaunching a new game called Titan or something like that? That's basically the core team from the original City of Heroes.
I've heard all kinds of different rumors, but nothing that I know by the people I know who are still involved is real.
There's a pretty fantastic YouTube series of this guy has is like the death of this MMO. I'll have to find it on YouTube, but he did one.
Series.
He did one for the City of Heroes, and that's but they each last about an hour, and he does a pretty good in-depth look at all of your favorite MMOs.
And I was involved with several of those, either while I was at City of Villains or City of Heroes, City of Villains, and working with NCSoft because I was doing business development too. And most of what he says, and I'm good friends with Bill Roper. He did Hellgate London was another one that he did in that series.
Oh my gosh, Hellgate
London. So I knew a lot of the inside stuff, and that guy really does nail it. The things he might not, or he certainly didn't have for City of Heroes, City of Villains, was the attempts to keep it live afterwards, which was really just a matter of money. The short version is that NCSoft wanted a significant amount of money to buy it, not necessarily because they really wanted the money, although I'm sure they did, but because they were afraid that if somebody took it over and it looked bad or didn't perform well or didn't have proper funding, etc., it would make them look bad. It would be a bad legacy. That's what they said anyway.
I remember the PvP with the villains and stuff like that was the last great thing about that game.
Yeah. Well, if you ever fought Captain Mako, that was probably me.
Oh, maybe. I at the end I had a villain that was the mastermind guy, but I had them all poisoned too, so I'd debuff everything, and then I'd have my thugs, shoot everything for me.
Shane is a fellow shark lover. That's why we get along so well.
That's right, exactly. So the lead designer, he was the creative director at the time of City of Heroes, City of Villains, is Jack Emmert. He's one of my best friends, and Jack was the core system designer for Conan.
Oh wow, I didn't know Jack.
This stuff is all in.
Very cool. All right, so Travis,
Stop.
how does it feel to be emancipated?
It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, Travis is he's independent.
Yes.
He's no longer with Indie Boards and Cards.
Resigned.
So he's independent from indie boards and cards.
What was your title at Indie Boards and Cards before you left?
Director of Marketing and Product Development.
So, and now he is Travis Chance, man about town.
Literally.
Yeah.
Well, I have a new project that's I'll be talking about a lot more next week, but I'm still doing gaming. I'm still doing publishing. I'm teaming up with some really awesome people to do a new endeavor. I'm very excited about it.
It's awesome.
Well, I mean, and you can't really say much about it just yet, right? That's my understanding.
Yeah, I mean, I wanna kind of do it at Origins, but I'm still gonna be making games, publishing games, just in a different capacity. Still doing tabletop stuff. That was that I'm just I like being my own boss. So, and I'm a good enough hustler that I found a way to kind of have my cake and eat it too. So I will, of course, be living in the 8th circle of hell for all eternity when I die. But, you know, that was a sold my soul joke, but no one picked it up.
Well, I got it. I feel bad about you having to sell your soul, I guess.
No,
Did he have one to sell?
Circle of hell is like the VIP section. It's the velvet rope section.
Very nice. Go ahead.
No. I just I'm going to Origins. I'm definitely like if anyone's going to Origins, they want to talk. I'll be more than happy to share with them what's going on. And sorry for being cryptic.
So does that mean all action phase stuff is still over there too?
I am no longer a part of Action Phase. It was really weird. Last night I went on and I took myself off as the admin on all the Action Phase stuff. It's a pretty strange thing to do, and it was something you built with your own hands and hard work. But I don't feel sad about it. I've always been the kind of person. You know, I walk through, I go to the next door. I do a lot of whining in my real life, but at the end of the day, I move forward. Oh, you too, you bastard. You and I are mutual. We have our weekly diaper party, as I call it, where we just complain about it. But yeah, I mean, the thing I am going to miss the absolute most is working with Nick and Big Mac and Trisha. I've worked with them, most of them for years. And I mean, Nick, everything that I did with Nick. So it's a strange thing. We saw each other yesterday, and it was kind of like when you break up with someone and you go and you pick up your box of stuff from their house. Like it was that kind of a feeling. But
so you had sex.
We're still. Yeah, like on a pile of sweaters. No, I mean, I had to sign over the storage unit to then get some of my stuff out of there that I didn't want to jam in my garage. And yeah, it's a lot of like procedural stuff. I'm finishing out the week. I've got like one more thing that I'm going to do. I really care a lot about Aeon Zen, so I'm writing like a giant primer document for them to use for future material, and I may be involved with the Aeon Zen moving forward in the future. I really do care tremendously about that world that I built, and I would hate to just throw it all away. But yeah, we're onward and upward. That's kind of how it goes, right?
Is your latest project game that you co-designed still funding, or is it done?
Yeah. That's a good question. It felt like it was done about 2 weeks ago during the campaign while it was still up. Yeah, it didn't do as well as I thought. I got to tell you, I'm actually really disappointed in its performance. You look at games like Lords of Hellas, and that's just, you got to go big or go home when you make physical components these days. To kind of harken back to this, Conan pre-painted miniatures thing, you can't just put stuff out that's functional. It has to be gratuitously. I played that Lords of Hellas game, and I thought I mean, I wouldn't if someone submitted that prototype to me, I would not have published it.
Shots fired.
No, I mean, but that's Kickstarter, and the game looks really good, and the people that spend $200 on it will psychologically convince themselves that it's the best game in their collection. Like, I played Dark Souls tonight. Disaster. What an unmitigated disaster. We played for 3 hours, and all we did was go in the same 3 rooms over and over and over and fight the same things over and over and over.
Were you just?
Well, that sounds like a ton of fun.
Huh?
Are you just really bad at games?
Have you played Dark Souls?
It sounds like they captured the spirit of the video game really well, though.
Yeah. Circling
Souls,
around.
Literally, everyone I've talked to about 10 people that have played it, and no one has liked it except for the guy that I played with tonight. And even he was just kind of like the game was just super grindy. But no, anyway, yeah, Path of Light and Shadow is not shaken out to be what I hoped it would be. It might catch fire when it hits retail. I think the game is really different, and I think it's like genuinely a very unique game. And I think it's kind of hard for people to wrap their head around. You know, it's not more of the same. So I think once people play it and they see what it is, they'll be able to make a more informed decision about it. But, you know, whatever. It's one of many games. There'll be more in the future. There were some in the past. So just got to move forward. It's fun, dude. That's the important thing.
Did you give away the moon?
Keith, are you like breaking into someone's house or something?
No, I'm cleaning out a leak in my car.
This is the weirdest.
You look like... Yeah,
We've got Travis driving. We've got Keith hanging out in his car. I feel like I should go outside and get in my car in the driveway.
No, Keith looks like he broke into the planetarium or some shit.
Well, that's because it's raining outside, so all the light is filtered through water. I'm basically in a reverse aquarium right now.
Your Bluetooth.
I'm in a pocket of air.
It's causing your chin to have all kinds of cool effects. It's actually quite neat, actually.
Yeah, they were complaining about it in chat last time I wore it. It said I was mesmerizing them with my little dot that glows.
Nice. All
This
right.
one's got great battery.
Here we will enter into the world of what we always love to do. This is the airing of grievances. So just get that out of the way. Does anybody have any grievances? Anything?
I have a grievance.
What's your grievance?
Go, Keith.
I went on vacation to the beach and it's been raining for 3 effing days. That's my grievance.
Aw. Well, that isn't so great.
Wait, does everything I just said earlier count as grievances?
Yes,
Yeah,
you're all
you
set.
can
Travis.
if you wish.
I think you've definitely aired enough.
You quit your job. That's pretty much airing a grievance right there.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, well, I just got home anyway, and my phone's on 10% battery, so I probably should hop off here.
It was good talking to you, buddy. See you next week.
Yeah.
Congratulations, I think, maybe.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, no. It's next week. I'll say more, and if you want to message me on Facebook or whatever, I've told my friends what's going on. I don't want it to get out yet. So
What are you doing at Origins to tell everybody?
I'm just I've got a bunch of interviews and stuff lined up, and I'll be there taking appointments and stuff. So
You didn't take Joe's fluffer job, right?
He did.
No.
They said he was overqualified, so
Yeah, I heard he ripped off the last one they tried to fluff.
My hands are made of the same stuff a cat tongue is made out of, so it's not really
more of a BDSM kind of thing going on.
good. They said
I think there's people that would pay for that.
It's just the noise. It's that bristly noise, you know.
Rule 34.
Drummer hands.
Drummer hands, yes.
Yum.
All right, guys. It was nice talking to everyone.
Good night, Travis.
Bye, Travis.
All right, so just thinking here. Oh, somebody got a call. Anybody else? You ever have one of those things where like you wish I'm coaching and by coaching that is a very very fast and loose word for what I'm doing. My son's t-ball team, he's 5, and which is cool because I enjoy doing that with stuff with him. But man, parents of the kids, just
Did you run into that dad that thinks it's the World Series?
It's not even that. It's like, I don't like to pretend that my kids are like so much better behaved than anybody else's or anything like that. But when you got 10 out of the 12 kids just listening to you and willing to do what you're asking, and then you got 2 out of the 10 that are just like, literally like just doing anything but what you're asking them, rolling around on the ground and throwing dirt at each other and just, acting like
chasing butterflies.
Yeah, no, because if they're chasing butterflies, that'd be actually something cute and nice. I mean, these two, they're just like, they're trying to climb the fence and they're just jumping around, and it's like, and nothing you say will get them to stop. It's just like, hey, come on, guys, you gotta come over here. Hey, come on, guys. Hey, come on, guys.
How old?
5, 6.
It's rough. It's a rough age.
Well, yeah, and
my daughter is 6. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's just like, and so you I don't want to yell at them because I mean, it's just that's not my job, right? I mean, but it's one of those things where it's just like, what is wrong with your children that they aren't listening to anybody? Oh, that's right. Those parents didn't even bother staying around to watch. They're sitting like in their cars on their cell phones and have just like completely checked out. And it's just like, and then also
babysitter.
Well, and once again, I don't want to pass judgment because I haven't walked in their shoes. I don't know exactly what they're doing or what their lives are about. So I mean, I'm trying to like take a little bit of the high road here, but man, it's just like there's like my dad is helping us coach, and he's 75, so it's like he can't really, he's I mean I love him to be out there and he's enjoying the time, but. And then I got this other guy that's helping out too, but like he literally, I was like, hey, how about you take these guys over and like have them bat? And he's like, I don't know how to bat. I was like, you've never played baseball? I was like, and I just said, well, have you played baseball before? Not really. And I was just like,
did you tell him to go watch Bull Durham?
Well, no, and I was just like, what are you serious? You never played baseball? I mean, it's just like, not even as a kid? And he's like, no. Never. I was just, oh God, okay. I
simple game.
You hit the ball, you throw the ball, you catch the ball, which is fine. Whatever. People grow up in different worlds and whatever.
I coached many a little league team, and I will tell you that the first practice I have, whoever is helping me out, coach takes the kids out into the outfield and they just throw the ball around and whatever. And I meet with all the parents. And I just tell them the way it's going to be. I said, look, you better tell your kid when they want to come to play. They signed up there. You paid money for them to come and play. I said, if they don't listen, they're coming off the field. And then you can explain to them after I explain to them why they were taken out of the game. I said, because, my whole thing was not the goofing around and stuff, was someone was going to get hurt because they weren't paying attention. That kid squatting at shortstop, picking daisies in the outfield. I didn't go for that. And I tell parents things like, okay, at some point, your kid's going to get hit with a ball, with somebody running into them. Something's going to happen. Do not come on the field.
Fair point.
I said, do not. I said, because your kid will not do anything until they see you. And the anguish on your face as you run across the field to them, and then they will start crying.
Been there. Hey, my play testers have finished their round, so I'm going to have to go and get them started on the next round.
All right.
But thanks for having me. I appreciate it. I hate
Hey, once you're live and running, you should come back and join us again and just talk to us about how the campaign's going.
Thank you. Hey, and that's awesome that you're coaching your kids, man. I know how much work that is. I've been a part of that. So
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm glad I'm doing it because, it's just, I want to be there, but I mean, man, it can get very frustrating.
I bet. Well, thanks for all the other parents out there.
No problem. Talk to you later, Shane.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Good luck.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. I listen to Anthony say he tells the parents, your kid's going to get hit. A lot of coaches, I figure that's them saying, hey, your kid might get hit. No,
No,
Anthony
no.
said, no,
Your
your kid is
kid
going
is
to get hit because
I-
I got a guy. And if your kid is being a shit, I got a guy. And your kid's going to get hit.
Well, I was coaching where the level where the kids start pitching themselves,
Oh wow. Okay.
Exactly. That's what
And-
I'm talking about.
and someone is going to get beaned.
Mhm.
Anthony Jr.
It's going to
is the
happen.
pitcher. We understand.
So true story.
Uh-oh.
This is horrible to say, and I might have told the story before, but I played Little League baseball, and my older brother was the coach of our team, and basically the way they did it was you'd sign up, right, and you'd sign up to do your thing, and you'd say what team you wanted to be on, and so this is God's honest truth. This is going to take a little while, so this is story time, so I apologize for that. But so everybody wanted to be on this team called the Twins because we're from Minnesota, so you wanted to be on the Twins, right? That was the deal. And so the coach of the Twins was the dad of this kid that I went to high school with. He was graduated same year as me. And Greg Stevens was the guy's name. And he strangely enough, like he pitched and he actually got drafted by the Twins when he was after college. He never played in minor leagues or anything like that. It never turned out. But I mean, so he actually was a fairly decent pitcher or whatever. But anyway, so his dad, this guy Jeff Stevens, basically he had all of these kids wanted to be on the Twins. So he had instead of each team had 11 kids or whatever, 12 kids maybe. So he had 20 kids sign up for it. And so he unbeknownst to the rest of the league, he had a practice for all 20 kids but he couldn't have all 20 kids. He had a practice and he cherry picked the best 11 or 12 kids. And so then when it came time that they had to break down to the number, he basically cut 8 of us, and I was one of the 8. So he pushes, he basically pushed us. So I ended up on this team called the Sluggers. It was our team name. And but I remember my brother was the coach of the team, and he was just like, okay, well, we're gonna just, who cares? He had this, he had what he had kind of thing on this team. And so we kind of put the team together, and my brother probably was that coach that was kind of, you probably shouldn't have a 19-year-old kid or 18-year-old kid being the coach of your team just because of the fact that he's just going to do the stuff that he probably shouldn't. But we had this guy, his name was Ryan Gilland, and he was that that kid in fifth grade that already had a mustache. It was just he could throw the ball. I mean, legitimately, 60 miles an hour. I mean, it was just, and plus in Little League, you're that much closer to the batter. And so he could just wing it in there. I mean, he had no control really, but he could just wing it in there. And you couldn't pitch 2 games in a row, but every game that Ryan Gillen pitched, my brother would tell him to hit one of the first 3 kids that he faced with the ball. And it would be this, just hit him right in the back or right in the leg, and it would sound like it would sound like a wet washcloth being thrown against a piece of plywood, just flap, and that kid would crumble and cry. I mean, just absolutely and you'd look at the other team, and all those other kids would look like they wanted to be anywhere but batting against, and then nobody would hit against Ryan Gill the rest of the day. So it was just one of those horrible little mental tactics he had. he would like walk people, like he would pinpoint the slow runners, and like he'd walk people in front of them, and so then they come up to bat and he's like, all right, double play now, double play, and so he kind of played dirty pool. But the long story short of it is too late is that we came down to the championship with the Twins, and I remember we beat them like 18-2 that day, and it was just it was glorious. I mean, I still remember winning the Little League World, like the local Little League World Series against like that our hated rivals, the cherry picked team, and being so happy when Chad Wisegram, one of the guy on our team, hit 2 grand slams off of Greg Stevens, who was pitching that day. So anyway.
So did your brother give you like uppers and stuff before the game to get you ready?
No, but
winning was so important to him.
Yeah, no, but he did get. I mean, like instead of like Gatorade and stuff, we had sodas, so he probably got all caffeine buzzed and up and rolling. Like sucking down like the old Coke, like 12-ounce bottles, with the pop tops. That was what we had back then. But I remember because he worked for Coca-Cola bottling, and so he would so he had one of those big Coke trucks that he'd drive around town, and so he'd always just steal a bunch of soda from it all the time. And so it was cool because after every practice we had soda after every practice. Kids thought it was awesome. But yeah, so I mean, glory days, right? But I mean, I still remember Greg Stevens. His dad pulled him from the game because he couldn't pitch after the second grand slam, and I remember seeing Greg Stevens cry all the way back to the dugout, and I remember feeling really sadly happy. and then because there was the rule that you could only bat like a certain number, you could at most you could bat all 9 guys in one inning. That was all you could do. Like it was just so you couldn't keep mercy basically is what it was for. So like if you had one team that was really good, they wouldn't just keep batting around and batting around and batting around. So like it got to like the 6th, the 7th inning because it was 7-inning games, and we were up by so many runs that by the league rules they couldn't win. And as soon as we got like the out in the 5th inning, he started clapping his hands and he said, "We got to play it out, but we're the champions." He started yelling, "We're the champions." And it was just like, I love my older brother, but he can be a real a-hole. It's like, doesn't matter what you do, we can walk all of them. We're still going to win. Just like, but there we go. And that's my little league. Hopefully I won't do that for when I'm running my teams. So. Hopefully, yes. Hopefully, I won't be a jerk or anything like that. So. But yeah. So there you go. Anthony, did you ever play Little League?
I did. I played for the team that. So
you played for the Twins.
Wait, hold on. So when I was really young, like Little League in my neighborhood, you basically signed up and they just pulled names out of a hat. And that's what team you played for. So my cousin got put in charge of a Little League in a neighborhood a few areas over from me because the Businessmen's Association ran the Little League, because they put the advertising on the shirts and stuff. So he asked me if I wanted to play it there. And I said, yeah, I don't care. I'll play there. So I went to play there. My brother coached us. And we basically got the last team. We got the team of all the kids who either signed up late or no one knew who they were or just was, whoever. We had one kid on the team with a guy who was coaching the team. The head coach of the team had his son, Ciro. I remember this kid, Ciro. He was like literally twice as big as everyone else in the league. And he was just the biggest jackass, this guy. So we were horrible. We won 1 game all season, but we beat the team that beat every other team. We were the only loss for the season. But the funniest thing is, so the team was somewhere in the area near the Bronx Zoo, Fordham Road area. If you know the Bronx at all. So we didn't have the most glorious neighborhood to play in when we were playing. Someone's bike got stolen during one of the games, and literally everyone ran off the field with bats chasing the guy down. So literally, the guy who Zero's father ended up quitting, and Zero left the team because he was just frustrated that we were so bad. So my brother and my cousin took over. My cousin Pat, he's from Italy. He's never played baseball in his life. He doesn't know anything about baseball, but God love him. He tried. But we're literally sitting there one day, and we're like, "Where is everybody?" There was like 6 of us there, and like we're gonna get the game's gonna get cold. We're not gonna be able to play. And my brother's like, "It looks like it's gonna rain. Maybe they thought it was gonna rain." He's like, "But I don't think it's gonna rain. I think we're getting a rain out." And all of a sudden you hear clunk. This guy Willie LaFleur, I never forget this kid. He was our catcher. He took his baseball bat and broke the water fountain in the dugout and flooded the field. So we ended up getting a rain out.
That's some bad news Bears stuff right there.
Well, I was gonna say that sounds like Bull Durham when they go and they turn on the sprinklers and rain out the field.
Yeah, my brother's just sitting there going, "All right, maybe it'll start raining and the game will get rained out." And we heard was dunk.
What prison's this kid in now?
I'm more than likely he is. But
Yeah, you ever had that kid that you went to school with that you were pretty sure probably went to prison?
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I guy named Mike Yandel. I have no idea, but I remember my when I would have to walk home, he was like kind of like the one of this group of toughs that always just wanted to beat up kids, and until I actually got bigger, it was just like the daily run home from them. But I remember somebody saying, the last thing Mike Yandel did was steal my bike before he left town. He's like, "Where's my bike?" I saw Mike walking away with it. Oh, where is he? His parents moved out of town. Oh, great.
Yeah. We had this kid third grade was beating up 6th graders every day because he could. He was the guy that looked like he was 6 years older than what he was.
Probably was.
And had only half a middle finger because his dad cut it off.
Good God. Tough family.
Yeah.
That's
the kid was in 2nd grade and had no middle finger because his dad had cut off his middle finger with a hatchet. I'm not sure if it was by accident or on purpose.
Have you ever seen that video of of that little scrawny kid who's picking on the bigger, fatter kid? I ever seen that video, right? Where he's and he's just holding off and he's punching the fatter kid until the fatter kid just finally has too much, has just had enough. And he
picks him up, body slams him.
Well, he picks him up and he's shaking on a rug, basically. I can't believe that kid can walk afterwards because he bends him in half when he drops him on the ground. Oh my gosh! But yeah, anyway, picked on the wrong guy, I guess, in that moment. So, but yeah.
So Little League's going well then.
Little League is going well. Yes, we just had practices. We have our pictures on Monday, and I was like, "Why do we have pictures right away?" And they're like, "Well, this is the earliest and we can always make sure most of the kids will show up for it, because they."
And then you have to find 3 of the kids that come. The pictures come to the coach.
Yeah,
and your kids aren't there. They haven't been there all year.
Yeah, I still.
But the mother tracks you down because she wants the damn picture.
No, what's weird is that so get this. So when my daughter was in T-ball, we took the pictures and there was this super nice girl. Her name was Yesenia, and she was just the nicest, sweetest girl ever. I mean, it was just one of these things. And it's also one of those weird things where you got the impression that it's very possible that she just kind of came from a rough house, and it was just because she was but just always a smile lit up the room and everything like that. And I remember distinctly, I was and she was always "Hey coach," and I was just super nice. And I remember when we went to take the pictures, because my daughter was on the team. My daughter came over and she was going to sit next to me, and then Yesenia came over and she asked me if it was okay if she stood next to me as well. And I was just oh my gosh, my heart's just breaking for this kid. So we got the pictures taken, and then she just vanished for the last month, never came to another game. I have no idea what happened. And so I had her pictures, because they pay for them, they hand them to me, and I had her pictures and I just had them in my truck. And literally it was one of those weird things where I'm just out and about at a school function, and then I see Yesenia 2 years later, and I was like, "Oh my God, stay right where you are." And she remembered me, and I remember I ran and I still had her pictures. I was so happy. I met her mom actually finally for the first time, and she was like, "Oh my gosh." And the mom started crying. just like so glad that she got the pictures finally, and it's just like, but yeah, that's the one thing that kind of stinks, is that you kind of get this weird hodgepodge of kids, and I mean, like, some of them, it's just like they don't. Yeah, it's like I said, it's daycare for their parents. It's just like.
So I'll tell you about the first time I ever coached Little League. I didn't even have kids. I wasn't even married. When we were in college,
it was court ordered, right?
No, so
court ordered to stay away.
The neighborhood Little League, they needed coaches. Nobody wanted to coach. So one of the guys from our block, his kid was in the league, and he was coaching his kid's team, even though he didn't want to coach. And he's like, they're looking for coaches. Do you guys want to help out? And we're like, oh, all right, fine, we'll do it. So we get there, and like we're 19 years old. I think maybe we were 20. And so we get a team, and everyone's looking at us because the coach is somebody's dad. And here are these two, basically dudes that are out there coaching Little League. So we get there, and we're like, all right, we're going to do this our way. And I've done this like ever since I had like the first day, like everyone's like, oh yeah, I'm the best shortstop. I'm going to play second base. I'm, whoever the hell they thought they were at the time, whoever was on the Yankees and the Mets at the time that they thought they were. I'm like, oh, you want to play shortstop? All right, good. Go stand over there. So everyone got to pick a position they wanted to play, and they went out to their spots, and me and my friend hit baseballs at them as hard as we could. And you could see the mothers' faces, like, what the hell are you guys doing? And I went over to them later and I said, look, I don't care if your kid can catch the ball. I just don't want your kid to be afraid. If your kid's afraid, they cannot play the infield. I said, I've seen the kids in this league, they can hit. If you are afraid of the ball, you can't. I had one kid who literally, he couldn't catch a cold. But he never got out of the way. He got in front of every single ball. I don't think he fielded one ball cleanly in his glove at second base the entire season, but nothing got past him.
He now has 2 teeth and drinks all of his meals.
he would take one off the groin, like literally this kid. I don't know.
And no kids.
Like off the groin. He would like stretch out his body diving for a ball, and it would just hit his hand, fall down. He'd pick it up and he'd throw it. And I was like, okay, this is good. We're doing this. And then so they started liking us because we were the young guys who were like doing this not because we had to, because we had kids. It's because we wanted to. We really didn't want to at first, but we had fun after. So like all the parents got to know us, and you're talking about this weird situation thing. So I had the rule on my team, and this wasn't even a league thing. This is a thing that I knew with leagues now, but everybody on my team played. Everybody knew it, and everyone knew that who was better than who, but everyone knew everyone got to play. So I had one kid on the team who was probably the best player, or at least in the top 2 players on the team. Probably in the top 5 in the whole league on my team. And his father never came to anything. Didn't come to practice, didn't come to games, nothing. Never saw his father. And I was like, okay, I don't know what the situation is and all that. But like his parents weren't divorced or anything. His father wasn't like working like crazy hours. He was just a jerk. So his father finally shows up for a game late. And his son, plays in the inning before. And then I take him out and I put somebody else in his place. Now, I'm not doing this because I don't even know if his father had shown up. He comes over to the fence and starts yelling at me. Who do you think you are? My son. And then the kid, of course, I made an error or something and made a mistake. And he's just ripping. And I'm just like, really, I'm 20 years old. So I'm like a real punk. I would like just knock this guy's teeth in. But I'm like, hey, in front of the kids and all this. And he will not stop. I think the guy put money on the game. That's how upset he was. So he's just screaming and yelling. And I said to him in the fans, I said, you were embarrassing your son way more than me taking him out of the game would ever be. I said, he knows the rules. He knows how this team works. I said, if you would come to any one of the practices or any one of the things, you would know that this is how this team works. And he's like, F you. I'll beat you in the parking lot, blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden, I had this one kid on my team Now, you ever see like people who their father and the son like look nothing alike because
because maybe the postman was stopping by?
No. So I had this kid Michael on my team, little African American kid. He was literally like half the size of everyone else on the team. Same age as everyone, little tiny guy. His father, though, was like twice as big as every other parent. And he's just sitting there watching this guy rip into me. And all of a sudden, like this shadow comes over the back of the guy. And his father's standing there and he goes, "You better sit your ass down before someone makes you leave." And like the umpire is like, wants to throw the guy out, just leave him alone. He turns around and all he doesn't hear is the voice behind him. And his father was really soft-spoken guy. He turns around and he's like face to chest with him. And he left. He just left the field. Didn't even bother, saying to his son, good game or whatever. Or I put his son back in the game too. It was like, you go in and out. It's Little League. It's not, you're out of the game. But like, it just, the experience I had with that was like, all right, cool. This guy's got my back over here, but this other idiot here, he was about 5 minutes away from me going, okay, you know what? Someone else coach the team. I'll go meet you in the parking lot. And that's not what a kid sport should be. No, it's just, I know how parents get, and I hate that kind of thing with parents. Like the parents who just say crap about other kids, that drives me nuts. You say something about a kid. It happens in my son's football, high school football. I almost got into a fist fight with one of the fathers this past year. And I was like, okay, you people have to calm the fuck down. It's friggin' high school football. It's Little League. No one is making money. No one's getting rich. No one's getting famous here. Just calm the fuck down. So, anyway.
Yeah.
And
no one's throwing pitches. No one's throwing pitches at kids' heads. Unless you're in Minnesota.
We never threw it at head. We never threw it at melon. We threw at the legs or like the buttocks or their back.
The testicles.
No.
Definitely important.
I do remember my brother told me once, like we were in a game, I think it was the semifinals. And I batted left-handed. It was one of those weird things where I was ambidextrous growing up. I got a teacher that basically told me to use my right hand all the time, but there's certain things I still do left-handed. Yes, ha ha ha. But yeah.
I told you that was my whole purpose of showing up tonight.
Yeah. So I mean, and that means like I like bat and I golf left-handed. I fish left-handed. Strangely enough, it's weird. So it's just like there's certain things I do like that. And when you got to the point where kids are actually throwing the ball, they were all really scared of hitting people with the ball, except for Ryan Gillen, who just loved it. But so the right-handed batter is what they normally face, so they'd always be pitching away from them, like trying to because they didn't want to hit the kid, right? So I'd come up batting left-handed, and people would just have no clue what to do, and I got hit all the time. I also got walked all the time because people just couldn't figure out how to pitch me a strike. And I came up with the bases loaded, and basically it was in Little League. It was my only walk-off moment ever. I came up with the bases loaded, and it was tied, and bottom of the last inning, 7th inning. And I'm getting ready to go up there, and my brother said, "Hey, Lance, come here quick." And I was like, "What?" He's like, "All right,
swing."
He's like, "If that bat leaves your shoulder, you're walking home." All right, go. It's and I wanted so bad to swing and hit it, get a hit, and do it. But yeah, 4-pitch walk, we win the game. And he was just
I mean, if your brother will hit a kid, he will let you walk home.
Yeah, he's just like, that bat leaves your shoulder, you're walking home. All right, let's go, everybody. Yeah, good times. But yeah, I still remember him, when he realized we couldn't possibly lose, and just starting to applaud and saying, "Hey, everybody, we're the champions. There's nothing they can do. They can't score enough points." Just Just you're watching.
Just like Anthony with initials.
Oh,
You're a sport winner and a math nerd.
Wow.
All
right,
I'm going to bed. I'll see
you're
you
going to
guys.
bed. All right. Well, we were going to talk.
Good night,
I was.
Keith.
Yep, I got to drive in the morning.
So Keith, I will see.
And hi, Rhiannon.
Hey, Keith.
I will see you at Origins, right, sir?
Yes, I will be there. What is it? Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Leaving Saturday.
Monday. And Pete, you'll be at Origins, right?
I will be there on Monday to Monday as well.
I don't
Hey,
get
Pete,
into.
do you want a clip if I can remember it?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to ship stuff back anyway, so that's fine.
What?
All right, if I remember it, I'll bring it.
Worst case, I'll just send it back. I'll send it back with our convention stuff, and then pick it up when I get to Atlanta next time.
What are you bringing him? Eclipse?
Eclipse.
You don't play Eclipse anymore?
No, I don't.
Weird.
A big box of Eclipse. It just doesn't get played, so time to go.
Origins is soon, very soon.
It feels like it's just around the corner. Who else is picking up a copy of Sidereal Confluence, like Trades and Intrigue in the Elite?
You know, the game's actually gotten fairly decent reviews. I was watching that.
I like I said, I have to buy it. I just have to get it. It's like it's like the game that says we dare you to spend $60 on this.
I'm thinking about picking it up too.
I'll go look at it, but there's no way I'm buying a game that requires 4 players minimum.
4 to 9 players, all simultaneous play.
That.
3 hours long.
The important question is how many people are picking up a copy of Delve at Origins this week?
Is it available?
Yep, it will be available.
What the hell? I don't have my backer copy yet.
Well, I think they air-shipped a few copies in ahead of the release.
Oh, motherfuckers.
Oh.
Look at that Indie Boards and Cards is a crap company, I'm telling you.
Well, at least they're getting rid of the
I can't have you sign my copy then, says, you know.
You can bring it to Gen Con. I'll be there too. Or Dice Tower Con.
You can have them sign something else.
Yeah. I'll sign your nipple, Keith.
I sign my boobs.
Good stuff.
I feel famous. Oh, man. I tried a couple new games this week, and I was disappointed in one of them, I think.
What was the game?
I have to
Tell us what you think. Tell us.
Near and Far. I think I'm disappointed in Near and Far.
Really? I've heard nothing but good things about it.
I like the storybook, right? And the storybook's really cool and everything, but the game feels way too simple. And that's my thing is like, oh, I need to go drop a camp. Well, I'll just walk out and drop a camp. Okay. Then I go do that again. Okay, I'm out of camps. The game's over. And there's only so many places you can go get into the storybook, which is what you want to do. So I feel like Above and Below is way more strategic.
I haven't played Near and Far, but Ryan Lockett's games all do feel the same. They all feel very similar.
I haven't played enough to really have a fair assessment. I've only played Above and Below.
This is going to be a
I haven't played any.
I really like Above and Below. I probably liked Islebound probably the most out of any of his games.
I haven't,
like
but I haven't played it yet.
I like Islebound too. So.
And I really liked Artifacts Incorporated. You know, that's admittedly a smaller, lighter game, but I mean, I enjoyed that one a great deal.
I guess
but
it
you have
just
to make
feels
a lot tougher decisions.
just a row of cards, row of building cards to buy, and then you can use money and some kind of wisdom resource to buy some of them, and then you build them, and then you build the most and you win.
Yeah, you're trying to build those artifacts, and you go out and you defeat bandits if you've got some swords, and just go build camps, and you'll accelerate the end of the game. So if you take out a few bandits, accelerate the game by plucking down camps real fast, I think you'll end it. But I need to play it another time. I need to try it again and see if maybe it's just not what I was expecting.
I played This War of Mine, and I really enjoyed that.
Did you?
My backer copy of that. Yeah.
Is it good? Did they succeed in the...
Go ahead.
Did they succeed in the whole... Because they were really like you can pull this out of the box and you don't need to read any rules and it will teach you the game as you go. Did they succeed in doing that, or is that kind of not exactly how that worked?
No, I think that's fair. I mean, but then again, I mean, I don't think that's fair for people that have played like 1,000 board games. Like, so I mean, if you've, if you're one of us, it's we've played so many games that we kind of take to those things pretty easily. So the comparison, in my opinion, isn't always the best. But and it's got the storybook thing going on as well. So I dug it, but I really dug the computer game too. If you ever played, I don't know, did anybody else play this War of Mine, the computer game?
No, I didn't.
It's actually pretty fantastic. I mean, the whole premise of it is that you and like these other people that have survived, that are living in this like war zone basically, and you're living in this house that has been basically been hit with shells or damage or whatever. And so during the day, you just kind of sit around and you do stuff like repairing parts of the house and like trying to get electricity back on and things like that. And then at night you send one or two of your people out to go and forage for stuff. And then as the game progresses, like things happen that like actually like, people that go out and forage, like you'll actually handle them like walking through like these other broken down buildings, and sometimes they'll run into other looters, and you'll have to deal like, do you try to trade with them? Do you fight them? Those things. And it isn't like a normal game where it's like, oh, okay, take out my gun and shoot that guy. It's like if you do end up like killing somebody, like the person comes back and they're not a soldier. They're like a person, and they've actually like taken somebody else's life, and so they are like, like they can't do anything for like a day. I mean, they're literally like suicidal, depressed. And if you force them to do more stuff, they'll just wander off and presumably get killed and things like that. It's not a it's a game that like is a game, but it's also a game that's kind of like teaching you that like the tough part is that when you're playing it, you kind of come to that realization where you're just like, this is like something that's like actually happening right now in the world, that kind of thing where you're like, oh, you're kind of playing this weird simulation, and then all of a sudden you're just like, oh,
yeah, I think they talked about that game was there to teach you that, what, this kind of stuff goes on and it sucks and there is no good out of it, right?
Well, yeah, and it's just like, and so like the computer game, you kind of just go through the whole process, and like you don't really win or lose. I mean, obviously, if your people die and starve or whatever, you lose, but it's like you basically get to the point where like either like the war, not so much the war is over, but the war moves, right? So you kind of get into like so the need to be in this house and like maintaining it and whatever is no longer there, and so you have to survive a certain number of days, and then it kind of just tells you like basically like what your choices and what you've done, how it affected those people, and where they are, and things like that. And so you also have like tough decisions too, where like somebody like comes to your door in the middle of the night and they're banging on your door and they're saying, it's just like, I have no food, I'm starving, please take me in. And it's just like, well, you barely have enough food to feed the people you have. And so you have to make the decision of like, well, do you let this person in and, have them be a drain on what you have, or do you just keep your door locked and keep them out, and it's, yeah, it's tough.
Half social experiment kind of thing.
Well, yeah, and they've replicated it pretty well in the board game.
Yeah.
I remember the computer game. One of the toughest things is like you come across this house that is like completely untouched, right? There's like no damage whatsoever, and so you break into it, and it has tons of food, and it has like all kinds of resources, and like you're basically scrambling and grabbing all of it that you can because you can't believe your luck. And then you realize that there's like two elderly people that are living there, and they come out and they're like, oh, don't take that. We won't be able to eat. And so you have this decision to make. It's like, do I steal this stuff from them? Basically dooming these two old people to die, and then like, so it's like moral quandaries like that, where it's like, you kind of are forced to like stop and think about things. So yeah.
Have you heard of the game Train?
Like,
I
know a really bad band called Train.
Yeah. So there's this game that this college professor made, a professor of psychology, And it's this really interesting. I was talking to somebody about it today, but she made it. And basically, it's a logistics game where everybody has these different pieces and you're trying to load them onto these trains. And there's all these rules for how you can put them. And you're basically trying to cram as much stuff as you can onto the train to get it to go. And so once everything's fit and you're like, oh, we've found because of the rules we can cram everything on it, and it's just everything is on this thing, and then it can go. And then at the end of the game, there's like kind of this reveal that happens where you realize, oh, you're all working for the Third Reich, and these are all concentration camp people, and you're just sent them out. And so it's supposed to be like one of these things that spurs a conversation where you're like supposed to like, oh wow, this happened, you know, this is something we should talk about, you know.
There was another game that like a guy created, and I forget what it was called, but it was all about it was about slavery too, and it was about the whole process of it. God, I gotta remember the name of that game. But it was one of those things where it was much more loosey goosey kind of thing, where it was like there weren't any really strict rules, but basically you could play it with a bunch of paper, pencils, and you had pennies, and then the pennies were like the like how much influence and things you had over certain decisions and situations. And so it was like that classic psychology experiment where they took all those people and they said, okay, you are the prisoners and you're the guards. And now we're going to lock you in this warehouse and we're going to see. And they had to shut it down after a day or two because the people that were told they were the guards, like basically just psychologically like started like being in the point where they were going to be possibly harming the people that were the quote unquote prisoners because of the fact that they were empowered to like be in charge of them and stuff like that. So same kind of deal. But yeah, if you know that psychological experiment from way back when, but you can look it up, Google it. You can read about it.
Nice.
You going to bed?
Yep, I gotta go. I'm losing battery anyway.
All right, Keither.
See you next week.
See you later.
Bye, Keith.
Good to see you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, so let's do some before and after.
Thank God, because that game sounds terrible.
What do we have? Do we have before and afters, or
Yes,
we have just initials?
I did before and afters. Ready?
Oh, sweet. Rhiannon, do you know how this works?
No, I'm just gonna giggle at inappropriate things. It's fine.
All right.
I don't know if Joe knows. Joe's watched it, I believe.
I've played.
Joe, have you watched us do it? Oh, okay. All right, good. So let's begin.
Yes.
Number 1. Nate Dogg and Warren G grab a bite at 2:30.
I have no idea.
Wait. He isn't asking you. He's asking all of us. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know who Nate Dogg and those people
They're
are.
regulators. Oh my God.
Regulators?
That regulate that song. Oh goodness, Lance, we can't be friends.
I don't.
It was a clear black night.
What is the line? What is the line from what is the line from South Park movie? It's just like, haven't you ever heard of the Emancipation Proclamation? I don't listen to rap music. I have no idea. Pete, save us.
Nothing.
All right.
Not a clue.
It's regulate lunch.
Oh,
Okay.
Late. What? That's a
Regulate lunch.
Oh,
Okay,
late
I see how
lunch.
the game works now. I knew the
They grab the bite at 2:30.
Okay. It's going to be that
It's
kind
gonna
of
be
game.
one of those. Yep. It's gonna be one of those. Wake me up in 20 minutes.
All right.
Wait.
Number-
I got your next one. Here, hold on. I got one for you. Really obscure fact combined with person you've never heard of.
Lance Mikester.
Anthony Ricano.
All right. Number 2. Christ, you know it ain't easy playing this Hasashi Hayashi game.
The second part, Yokohama. So first part,
Well, he's done other games like Okie
Trains.
Dokie. Trains.
Yeah.
string rail.
I don't think it's trains. Yokohama actually has 2 things in it.
All right, you got the first part of the clue is important.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
What is it again? Say it again.
Christ, you know it ain't easy.
Say it again.
Christ, you know it ain't easy. Playing this Hayashi Hisashi, whatever Hisashi Hayashi game.
Hayashi-san. I got nothing.
No. Christ, you know it ain't easy. Is that like song lyrics? Because I don't know.
It's probably song lyrics, and I
Is
just
it
don't
like
know the
pimpin'?
band.
I know pimpin' ain't easy, or so I've heard.
Yeah, Christ, you know it ain't easy are song lyrics.
No idea.
All right. It's the Ballad of John and Yoko Yokohama.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got that now. But yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay, got it.
Next.
All right.
Next.
Number 3. Walking in Memphis to the world's most famous wooden coaster.
I don't remember that name. I remember the song. I have no idea who sang it though. Walking in Memphis.
Mark Cohn sang it.
Mark Cohn, world's most famous wooden coaster.
Mark Coney Island.
It's a coaster, not the park.
I
don't know what it is.
All right, one more word, Joe.
Coney Island. What's the famous roller coaster there? Coney Island.
Something.
Coney. What's the name for a
Cyclone?
roller coaster?
Cyclone. It's Mark Coney Island Cyclone.
Hey, good job, team. Good job, team.
Yeah, we got
Thanks,
there.
Kabuki.
Gonna work.
Thanks, Kabuki.
Okay, we
You
ready?
can't have the chat open. That's cheating. You're cheating at Anthony's impossible game.
Yes.
Ready? Number 4. 2x2 spinning jennies.
Noah's Ark Ride.
Noah's Ark Ride is correct.
No. I gotta play Ark Ride again. I haven't played that in probably about 9 months.
It's good. It's good.
It is. I own the first version though. I shouldn't. I keep wondering if I should pick up the other version, the second edition.
Yeah, you don't need to. But, I mean, it just adds a few things, but nothing really important. Seriously, though, at Origins, pick up a copy of Lignum because that game is freaking amazing.
I already got a copy.
Yeah? You have one of the original ones?
Yeah.
I got rid of it and got the new one because of the expansion.
Oh yeah.
Yeah? The kind of built-in expansion that he put into it, it's really good.
Well, damn it.
Yep. Doesn't that suck? Ain't life a bitch?
Ready for the next one?
Yeah. I
Go.
suppose.
Yeah.
Michael Corleone has a license to ill.
Tell me, Visa.
License to Ill.
That's the Beastie Boys album.
Well, it's got yeah. It's like so, but it's Al Pacino.
No Sleep Till Brooklyn?
Al Pacino, Sleep Till Brooklyn. Ah, very good. See, we get there together. That's
Yeah, we got to just play this cooperatively.
Yeah. Wait, it's us against Anthony. That's what it is.
Yes. Will Anthony have more at the end, or will we?
yes.
All
Take
right.
that, Anthony.
Ready?
Yep.
Azalus.
What?
What?
I'm sorry.
I didn't think it was that funny.
Oh. I lost my spot. Hold on.
We're professionals, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, we are.
This is what people tune in for.
Yes.
Little league talk, and then
All right, here we go.
Dead silence.
Number 6. Richard Breeze Goes to Woodstock.
Flower Child.
Key Flower Child is correct.
Oh, look at you.
Nice. Yeah.
God, jeez.
And go.
Again?
Bonacore is a fantastic Kansas song.
Stronghold. What's a Kansas song that starts with hold?
Stronghold. Hold on tight. Stronghold tight. Hold on tight to my dreams. No.
Sorry, take off a couple of those words.
Stronghold tight.
Stronghold on.
Stronghold on.
Stronghold on.
Loosely.
But don't let go.
That's 38 special.
Yeah. Well.
I think that one had some adult overtones. That hold on loosely, but don't let go. You know, just like
Well, that's my general motto. So you know.
A light grip.
All right. Here we go. Stefan Feld hates being the middle child.
The middle child. Who was that? That was on the. That was not Marcia, not Cindy, but Jan. Jan was the middle child,
Okay.
and she always complained about being the middle child. So, what Stefan Feld game that goes with Jan?
No, I'm thinking of. Is the second part the name of a sitcom?
No.
No.
Is it Jan Brady?
of Burgundy.
Trey Jan Brady.
Trey Jan Brady.
Trey Jan Brady.
Nice.
I'll take an assist on that.
You got it.
Or watch the Brady Bunch.
What?
You kidding me? Not
Never.
once? Really?
Never.
Wow.
Marsha.
Forget. I'm a child. I am a child.
In stature and mentality, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't watch the Brady Bunch.
It never. I just never has come on.
Oh, it's such a classic show. I mean, it's just like, and what's weird is like there's one episode where they actually mention sex, but it's only because they're talking about their dog knocking up the neighbor's dog.
Ready?
And waiting.
Yep.
Number 9. Let's travel west to the phone booth.
Travel west to the phone booth.
Okay, the phone booth was that really horrible movie with
Lewis and Clark Kent.
Lewis and Clark Kent is correct.
Ooh, there we go.
Nice.
I went to Lewis and Clark High School. I mean, Lewis and Clark grade school. It still exists.
All right. We have one left, right?
You tell
I
me.
don't know. How many do we have left?
One more? One, yes, one more.
Is you're Googling one up right now?
Jesse Lee has multiple Super Bowls.
I don't know who Jesse Lee is.
Isn't
Well-
he the lead singer of?
No,
No, he's not the lead singer of any. He might be the lead singer of something.
Okay.
he's the designer.
You don't know what he does. in
He's
his
the
spare time.
designer of the flow of history, which each and every one of you needs to go and back right now.
I already backed it. Stop begging.
The flow of history.
Wiggins, go back it.
What else is he
I
done?
did. I backed it.
Well, then, if you backed it, then don't you? How did you not know it was him that designed it? He also designed
I
Ponzi
don't-
scheme.
I didn't. Ponzi scheme's great. I didn't look at who designed it. I just pressed back, and that was it. Left alone.
What else
Well,
did he do?
you
Did
say
he do
you say you
anything
like
else?
Ponzi scheme. Why don't you know who did it then?
didn't occur.
Yes.
What else has he designed?
I don't know. Nothing.
Guns and Steelers.
Guns and Steelers is correct.
There you go. Yeah.
Chat for the assist on that one. They said Guns and Steel.
Hooray! Well, that was a job done.
All right. I need 2 minutes for initials, so I'll be right back.
All right.
Yeah, we need 2 minutes also.
He's got props.
Boy, how come every time he does before and after, I feel like I just gave birth to like an accountant or something?
Yeah,
I have a grievance.
Gyms are so nice. They're just so like.
I don't feel stupid when I listen to Jim's or before and after because I can probably get 1 or 2 of them. But whenever Anthony or Keith does them, I just sit back and just think that I should have studied harder in school.
What's your grievance, JoJo?
So I have a 2-month-old, and I do not pretend to know anything about parenting or have any clue what I'm doing. 0. That's fine. I'm the last person to admit that I know what I'm doing. I'm just figuring it out, But we took our daughter. She's 2 months old, and my mother-in-law has a heated pool. So last Sunday, we took her swimming. Just kind of held her in the water, kind of saw how she reacted, kind of saw what the experience was. And then we posted some pictures on Facebook, and people just started like chewing me out. Like, you can't put a baby that young in the water, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, I literally took the post down. I was like, I can't even fathom how somebody would just see something like that and react in that way. It doesn't make any sense to me.
It's the internet. People react dumb to things all the time. It's just the nature of the beast nowadays.
Imagine what would have happened if you took them in the ocean.
Oh God, it's over. They'd have called child services.
That's okay. We only have the Great Lakes up here, and I wouldn't put my daughter in that water. That's disgusting. No, like we just decided to put her in the pool, see how she did. How did she like it? And she loved it. I mean, she splashed around a little bit, and she didn't cry at all. She really liked it. But then, that was a cool experience for her at a young age. And then everybody's like, "Oh, that she's gonna die," and I'm like, "Oh my God."
Did they cite any reason as to why they think she would die from being in a pool?
No, but I'm super excited because tomorrow morning I get to take her to go get vaccinated, and I'm so excited to post pictures.
Well, I mean,
neither one of them are actually harmful, so it's fine. Fine.
The few people out there that still think that's a thing, I mean, they're just, they kind of have retreated, into the gloom. So.
Yeah, and some of these people that were commenting, though, don't even have children, which is what gets me. Like, they're just, like, people, like, yelling. And I'm like, I know you. You don't even have a kid. But it was just one of those things.
They saw a kid one time, and they weren't in water, so you must be doing it wrong.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
But I just could never imagine being somebody that saw how somebody was doing something to their kid that was non-abusive and...
Buckle up, buddy.
For that, like, I couldn't ever imagine like calling somebody out for something that they deemed was appropriate to do with their kid.
You know what the trick is be like 6'1", 300 pounds, and have a giant beard, and then when you're hanging out with your kids and goofing around, nobody will come up to you and tell you anything about how you're doing it wrong. Because
I'm working on all 3 of those things.
Okay, well there you go. So I mean. My wife has said that, like, it's like you're the nicest person in the world, but nobody thinks that when they see you. Because like especially like when I'm coaching the little league, like she'll hear people like saying, "Oh my gosh, like he's gonna eat the children," just like, and then like I'm yeah, there you go. But yeah, so that's the one nice thing is that I don't end up dealing with anybody thinking I'm weird. But then again, I'm the one playing red light, green light with a cart full of groceries, and my kids and I are racing down the aisles at the store. So I'm the one acting like an idiot more than they are. So I don't know. people are dumb, man. I mean, one of the most ridiculous things I ever got in an argument with somebody was like I was talking about how cool it was to be a dad, and somebody actually like, I just don't feel like I need to put more burden on the earth by creating more children or something. And I was just like, that's cool.
Wow.
And then they were
I do.
Right.
And then
You don't.
and then they said, it's like I just don't want to I just don't want to lose my freedom and whatever. And then and my response to that, and I thought I was going to have a fairly intelligent discussion with that person. And the response to that was, I said, you know what, it may not be right for you. I said, but I spent 35 years of life just doing whatever the hell I wanted. I had all the freedom in the world. I traveled the world. I worked 17 different jobs. I wasn't buckled down by anything. I said, the moment I had kids is like the moment I realized just like how awesome life is. I mean, it was just like, so, when I've done both, I'm the one that can speak right now. You don't have. I said, you don't know what it's like to have children. I was like, so you don't know how it is. And I just but whatever. It's just that was. But I was just like, that's great. Go, don't have kids, and I'm sure the world will appreciate that you don't. So, and then we'll all move forward. So, oh well. What are you gonna do? Is Anthony back? Anthony, are you back? Anthony, are you there?
I'm
Call
back.
him by its proper name. Anthony.
Anthony,
You there?
So Pete, I don't know if I really want to back Green Horde or whatever it is, but I really want one of those feral dragon minis.
Let me take some notes.
Okay,
I
that feral
would like
dragon
to see what it
looks awesome.
I would like to see what it looks like for someone that has backed every Zombicide campaign and gotten every add-on and everything that has ever come out for Zombicide. I just want to see what that looks like in one place.
I got that. It takes up one 4x4 Calyx shelf if you've done all of the modern Zombicide plus Black Plague.
Wow.
I got it right back there.
What is it? What would it look like just to have all the minis set out? Like I just can't. Like that would like cover the living room.
I've actually done this too, because right before I left Florida. Now, granted, I didn't have as much now because there's a couple campaigns I missed, but I ran a Zombicide event for my friends when I moved from Florida to South Carolina before I was even working for Cool Mini, and I used all of the zombies that were available from all the Kickstarters they had done for Zombicide, and on a 12-foot board, and literally had like 300 and some odd zombies for like a 6-player game to do. If you take every zombie from all of their campaigns and take a normal 4x6 gaming table, you can damn near fill the entire well of the 4x6 gaming table with nothing but plastic.
Hey, where's my Rising Sun? I want it.
It's probably at the manufacturer being produced as we speak.
Well,
Did you back it?
Yeah, I backed it. How else am I gonna get all
Then
the exclusive stuff?
I know.
I guess we're going to talk about games after Anthony does initials.
Well, that's what we usually
Well,
do.
at this rate, we can talk about them now because he's not here.
Woo,
here.
Miguel Sano. 3-run blast, baby. Twins up 5-2.
I don't know if I'm back. If I have anything currently or Flow of History. That's not ended yet.
No, we ended, and it's coming up on the 48 hours. If it not already hit.
No, I've backed it. What did I back recently? Card City XL, Clans of Caledonia, Brass, 18CZ.
The only thing I have left that's sitting out there that hasn't charged yet that I've backed that I'm waiting is gosh, what is it?
Your Lazy Susan?
No, that's that. No, I'm talking about like that's still fun. That's still in the process of funding right now.
I wonder if I can.
I'm really feeling bad about Green Horde though, because man, I don't know if you guys are gonna. They need more backers. I mean, seriously, only 2.3 million.
I'm picking up my copy of Lisboa at Origins from the Kickstarter.
The last few things I backed are Dicey Peaks, Fantasy Football, Carthage, and I'm back in Green Horde.
You know, I thought about picking mine up, but honestly, it was one of those things where I was like, you know what, just send it to me. I just
Do you fly in?
Yeah.
That's a big box to carry back.
It is, and I don't want
I
to race over to UPS or whatever and have it shipped home. Just you know what?
every Origins, I end up having to ship a box home because I go in with half a suitcase thinking I got plenty of room, and then about day 2, I realize I should have brought a second suitcase, and then on day 3, I just start packing boxes.
Well, and then but the nice thing about Origins is that there's a FedEx and there's a UPS place where you can go. That it's not as good as BGG-Con, baby. BGG-Con,
Right.
you walk downstairs and you ship it all back.
Well, we're lucky in that we drive to BGG, so I can just throw my stuff on the truck.
Yeah, I'm an hour and a half from Origins, and I'm 4 hours from Gen Con, so I just drive to both of those.
I might just give you a box of stuff and have you ship it back for me then.
It'd be cheaper because they always raise the rates right around the convention center. So
yeah,
I don't care.
Oh, looks like Joe Wiggins is going to be my mule.
I ship stuff all the time. I've been selling stuff for a bunch of my friends, like 5 or 6 friends got together and just got rid of a bunch of games. So I had like 175 games I've been slowly selling. I sold it for like a week and a half local. Then I sold it for like a week and a half on the board game group. And now I'm running a BGG auction to get rid of the rest of it.
Nice.
Yeah, I got to do that. I'm actually going to like quasi flea market it out of my garage, which is weird, but that's fine. That way I can just
thinking of having a clearance sale. I've got about 150 games on my sell shelf that are just sitting there, but I just never have the time to do it.
I have around 600 games that I'm going to get rid of for like pennies on the dollar, and I just don't want to ship them because I effing hate shipping stuff. So
me too.
So I'll never do this again. This is the last time I'm selling like this, or at least this big.
The last time I did that, it was the last time I shipped in a mass. If I'm doing 1 game or 2 games, I don't mind shipping, but I'll never ship 8 or 10 games in a week. That was the worst week of my life.
Oh, I remember I would bring my kids' wagon and it would just be filled with boxes, and I'd walk into the post office, and they were happy to see me because they wanted the money, obviously, but man, the people that walked in behind me, they were and like you're lucky if you have one teller at our local post office. I mean, there's just like, you know, and rarely do they have 2, even though there's 3 spots. The best part is people come up from the front to like the spot where they're supposed to be working, and then people get excited and they'll just take like a book of stamps or something, and they'll turn around and walk away. It's just like it's just the post office just doesn't care because they're all under union, and nothing drives them at all, you know. And usually the people there will just have like 20-minute conversations with like each customer. It seems like, oh, really? What you been doing?
That's small town for you. Our post office is the same way here in South Carolina. There'll be nice little old lady in front of you with 1 envelope, and I'm like, sweet, I'm getting in that line. And then she'll talk about her grandkids for 15 minutes, and I see 3 other people pass me going in the other line. I'm like, just shaking my head.
My brother-in-law is working. Him and his wife, my wife's sister, they had a baby 1 week after us, so that's their first baby. But he's working 7 days a week because he's a mason, and he's working every off day at the part-time at the post office, trying to get one of those jobs where he's just kind of grandfathered in for life. But man, you have to go through like hell to get one of the jobs at the post office. It's miserable.
Yeah. It is. I had a buddy who was like, part-time post office, and he was like one of those things where he talked about how like he would come back in his mail truck, and then there'd be more mail there, right? And he'd pick it up and he'd put it in the back of his mail truck and he'd leave. And then he'd come back and there would be more mail there, and he'd pick it up and he'd leave. But the people that actually were full-time and were union and just basically their job was like for life, they would just come back, they'd get out of their truck, they'd wander around, they'd talk to people, grab a cup of coffee, just BS. He said he came and left, we went back and forth like something like 5 times one day, and there was just this giant bag of mail that it was just sitting there, like where they're like collecting mail and putting them in their trucks, and it just sat there like all day, like nobody grabbed it. And finally, he just picked it up and went and delivered it. He was just like, I don't know why this is sitting here. And he was delivering mail until something like 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. And because it was summer, he could do it that late. And then when he got back, he got his A-chewed, by his thing. He's like, "What are you thinking working this late? Try to make us look all bad, just." He was just like, "Well, it's just sitting there, just like what, the mail needs to. Oh, it could have waited till tomorrow, just." So the post office is a weird world.
Well, every
Funny
time I
enough-
see him, I ask when he's going to stop working 7 days a week, and he says when either 6 people die or quit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Funny enough, I actually turned down a job at the post office the week before I got hired at Cool Mini.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I was going to be a post office person.
Yeah.
Role player expansion is my one uncollected thing that's out there right now.
So what happened with Flow of History moving from whatever to back to Kickstarter?
Well, I mean, I can't speak, with specifics, but I mean, ultimately, it was just one of those things where the backer response wasn't what we thought we'd have, and we made the decision to make the change, and the backer response was extremely positive, and Kickstarter was happy to see us come over there, and and it just worked out for everybody involved. So
Board gamers are creatures of habit.
and I don't know. I mean, it's just it's just the way it is, and it's just we made that decision, and there we go. I mean, it's and obviously it's doing well. We're hoping to hit the 145. The final stretch goal got announced today, so we're hoping to hit 145K and make everybody happy and publish the game. It really, I mean,
And then you're gonna crap out an expansion then too, right?
No. We know that Jesse Lee has worked on some small card expansion stuff ideas for it, but I mean, they're all completely unplay tested. So, if we tell everybody, oh, okay, if we hit 160K, we'll add these 6 cards to the game. Well, we don't want to add 6 cards to the game that are, that aren't developed, and so. Yeah, ultimately, it's just one of those things where it's not worth the risk to try to create something and I've heard horror stories from other other people that and admittedly you want to listen to your backers, you want to listen to the people, and when they say, hey, we want this, you want to try to give that to them, but when you give them something that you had no business offering them, ultimately you do more damage than you do help, so
It's always a fine line. You're trying to make the masses happy, but on the other hand, you have to make sure that the game is still going to come out in good shape at the end, and that's the problem with a lot of things, that people will overpromise the world, and then when it comes to getting the game, even if it's not has to do with mechanics itself, but just getting the game delivered, they overdo the stretch goals, and then all of a sudden shipping costs too much, and then they don't have enough money to ship it. I mean, how many times have you seen campaigns go kabunk because they ran out of money, so they did too much?
That is all my job is talking people off of a Kickstarter ledge. I work with a lot of independent publishers that are just getting their games quoted, and I'll get quotes every day for, oh yeah, my game has 650 miniatures, it's going to be awesome. Like, this is your first Kickstarter, so let's talk about how much minis cost.
Yeah. No, and now, I mean, it used to be that if you had a game that was full of miniatures and stuff like that, you could really, you could count on, but on backing to get it made. But I mean, sadly, you're at this point where it just doesn't happen because there's too many games out there that have 7,000 minis now, and it's just it's rough. I mean, I don't know.
All right, Forrest is here. We can do initials.
Yeah, my wiener dog is here too. My wiener dog wanted to come and say hi. Hello.
Not high, Lance's wiener.
Oh, I love this weenie.
I was about to say, Lance is holding a dog, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe.
This is Beaker.
All right. I gotta minimize the chat.
Beaker is 9 years old, and she's half French bulldog and half wiener dog. So she's just all weird and strange looking, like everybody else in our family. All right. See you later, wiener.
All right. Chat down. Goodbye, Kabuki.
All right, chat down. I have chat opening for tie-breaking purposes.
Hold on one second here.
All right, everyone can get out a pen and a piece of paper, something to write on.
Yep.
I'll give you the initials first, and then I'll go over the rules.
Wait a minute. Is our adjudicator of justice present?
I saw Paul on Kabuki and Paul are in chat.
Kabuki and Paul are both in chat.
All right. So our adjudicator of justice is available.
All right. So I'm going to give the initials so you can write them down, and I'll go over the rules while you guys are writing them down.
Man.
So tonight's initials.
Play, yeah.
Maybe not the skirt, but I don't know.
Joe, you know how to play, right?
Yeah, I've played before.
All right, so he knows how to play, Lance.
All right. Oh, buzzing.
All right, and when you buzz in, you're buzzing with your name one time. Lance, 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 Lance. It's not.
You know what? It's my damn game. I'll do it how I want.
All right.
Wait,
So
I need to take a sip of my refreshing LaCroix lime mineral water here.
Cheers.
That's good stuff.
All right.
This is actually really good.
Oh my god.
Yep. That's all I drink.
You know, I've cut my my sugary soda out mostly from my diet. Man, the caffeine headaches though. Ugh. But what do you do?
All right, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Tonight's initials.
Also, what? Hey, Anthony, what's the? I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
You let him speak, man.
Tonight's initials for Lance are FU. but for the actual game,
Frank Underwood.
they are JL.
JL.
J as in Jamama and L as in llama. So Jamama Llama.
All right. Okay.
I will have to say that doing this one, there were tons of choices.
What?
Well, I got two.
Well, I thought of three.
And let's begin.
All right, let's do this.
Item number 1 originated in the Castle Hill section of New York.
Pete.
Jennifer Lopez is correct.
Wow.
That was a guess.
The second clue was I attended her prom.
Really?
Yes, I did.
Whatever, creepo.
The third one was
Last year.
Started her singing career by playing a singer in a movie. Very good.
My wife will always it's a running joke in the house. So my wife will talk about it's like, oh, and she'll say something like she did because my wife is much younger than I am. So the running gag in the house is she'll say something like, oh, like the first ever the first ever volleyball game I played in was when I was in 6th grade, and I say, I know. Just
Creeper.
Yeah.
So bad.
And then, or I'll be like, go on. All right, let's do this.
Your
All right.
dirty talk is weird, Lance.
Item number 2 originated in New Rochelle, New York. Began their career doing stand-up comedy.
Lance.
Lance.
Jay Leno.
Jay Leno is correct.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I must have a lag here. I thought I beat you.
I need to say my name. Say my name.
Clue number 3 was during the 2005 trial of Michael Jackson on alleged molestation was a witness for the defense.
He didn't do it.
Here we go. Originated in Detroit, Michigan.
I got an idea.
Among his credits includes writing the theme song for Thundercats.
And my idea is gone.
Yeah.
Oh.
No. Oh!
Most notable work is as creator, host, and writer of an executive producer of a show that has been going on since 1994.
Can I just say something really quick?
What?
Chitara was hot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I just want to, we all agree that, and
Never seen the Thundercats.
and Panthro was just like the like that was their like African American, right? I mean that. Or am I completely off base here? He was like the B.A. Baracus of the group, right? Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, go on.
Continue.
Too old for me. His show is filmed in front of a live audience in New York City at a college.
God, you've lost me.
Yeah, I'm completely
This is
off.
actually a really cool one. Some people don't know his name, but you know what he looks like, and Will Ferrell does a fantastic impersonation of him.
Oh,
Forrest.
Lance.
Forrest.
Forrest.
No, I had it.
No, wait. Oh, do I have? No, I heard Forrest first. I will go.
Forrest doesn't know it.
I don't.
Lance.
Lance.
James Lipton.
James Lipton.
Oh my God!
He wrote the theme to Thundercats.
I never knew that.
way.
You threw us off with that.
Yes way.
Oh my God!
Like you get to the gates of heaven. What do they say?
Oh.
Oh, I love that one. All right.
That is actually really cool.
Thundercats. Thundercats. Thundercats.
Okay, you ready?
Oh.
Originated in Bogota, Colombia. Has voiced and played lovable video game characters. The only saving grace of a comic book movie from the late 90s.
It's an actor I don't know.
Well done.
Oh. Shot Al Pacino.
What?
He shot Al Pacino.
Oh, crap. I can't think of his name. I can picture him.
Good job.
Too bad this game's not called Pictures.
No, you know what? If Lance can draw a picture of him, he'll win.
Yeah, give me a second here.
Has done stand-up, movies, TV shows.
Lance. John Leguizamo.
John Leguizamo is correct.
He played the pest.
He was Luigi in the Mario Brothers movie.
Nice.
Really?
Yes, and he was Clown in the Clown, in Spawn. And he was Benny Blanco from the Bronx and shot Al Pacino.
I almost said Luis Guzman, but then because I was thinking I was stuck on L. And I was like, no, that would be dumb.
Oh.
These are so far off the beaten path. I'm not. All right,
here we go. Originated in Tarzana, Los Angeles, California in 1957?
1957.
Has appeared on Broadway, television, film, and cartoons. Notable roles include Tonto, Harvey Firestein, Mephistopheles, and Michael Dukakis.
Oh,
What the frig?
what the?
Was once married to Morgan Fairchild.
Forrest.
Lance.
Forrest.
John Lithgow.
Incorrect.
Lance.
Lance.
John Lovitz.
Yeah, it is correct.
John Lovitz.
Damn. I gotta go home to my wife, Morgan Fairchild.
Whom I've seen naked.
Uh,
All right. Next one. Originated in New York City in 1961.
Forrest.
Forrest.
Justice League.
No.
Just sitting on Justice League, right? Just sitting on it. Just like, as soon as he said New York, you were like, oh, that's what it is.
Way too late.
Go to the corner.
Oh, hold on.
What was the year? New York and what year? 1961?
1961.
I got an idea.
Almost 70.
Her great-great-grandfather founded a French commodities and shipping conglomerate in 1851.
Oh, well, that's the giveaway clue right there.
You know, the Justice League's grandpa's shipping container company.
Joined the cast of Saturday Night Live at the age of 21.
What?
Has worked in publishing and at the White House.
What?
Was famously known as one of the four people doing nothing in New York on television. Pete.
Julia Louise?
Lance.
Dreyfus?
That is incorrect. Lance.
Oh. You know what? It's her.
I don't know what I mispronounced. I obviously mispronounced something.
Julie. Just screw it. I don't know. Julie Louis-Dreyfus.
Anyone else want to say her name correctly? All right, we'll give it to Pete. It's Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Oh, Julia Louis-Dreyfus. See, he threw me off because I was like, "Does it miss?" Yeah, give it to Pete. He got it. He had the right person.
We'll put an asterisk by it. I don't think I'm going to win any.
All right. Here we go. Originated in the 1950s.
Justice League, Joe.
Joe, incorrect.
Justice League Joe. Can we call you that from now on? I want that to be your name. And Justice League Joe is.
that is incorrect.
Sometime around then, though, right? Got to go for it.
Yeah, you do. You got to ring in.
You have to.
You have to.
All right. Question, clue number 2. Happens east and west, but not north and south.
Forrest.
Forrest.
Jet lag.
Jet lag is correct.
Nice.
Very
Forrest.
good. Very nice.
I got a point. There's my one for the week.
Holy cow! It was something that wasn't a person.
I know. I actually like those the best because they really make you think.
All right. Here we go. Originated in Chambers County, Alabama. In 1926, shaken by a gang of men, white men from the Ku Klux Klan, moved to Detroit, Michigan. According to one Queen's barber, was 147 years old.
Lance. Joe Louis.
Joe Louis is correct.
He was 140 years old when he fought Muhammad Ali.
Oh crap! That's like
Frank Sinatra sat in this here chair. I said, Frank, how old Joe Louis? Joe Louis, 147 years old.
And what you don't realize until like it was so good, like you didn't realize at first that they were all like Eddie Murphy and you know, it was them, you know, playing.
Yeah, with him
all the
and
roles.
Arsenio Hall.
Yeah, and you didn't realize it at first when you're watching. It was like, you know, this is beautiful. What is it, velvet?
Here we go. Originated in March of 1960.
Somebody do it.
That's not.
Come on, Justice League Joe.
That would be awesome if that was it,
though. Has been active ever since.
Lance. Justice League.
Justice League is correct.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to go for it too.
Not until then, huh?
Brave and the Bold, number 28.
Yeah.
Man.
Justice Society was better anyway. But anyway.
All right. Here we go. What's the score anyway?
Lance has a lot.
Well, I got...
Thank you.
Oh, Lance has 6, Pete has 2, Forrest has 1, Joe and Rhiannon.
Their buzzers are broken.
I knew John Leguizamo in my heart after the children's.
Okay, you know my
I'm
buzzer
a Monday
isn't
morning quarterback.
broken.
Shh. I didn't get a nickname out of it though, so it's good.
All right, here we go. Born in Birmingham. Oh, sorry, it's not born. Originated in Birmingham, England.
Joe. John Lennon.
Incorrect.
Nah.
Has recorded under 2 other names also. Guitarist with a very unique voice.
Forrest. Jared Leto.
Who?
Nope.
I'm guessing you're wrong.
The Joker. He's in 30 Seconds to Mars too.
Nope.
In Suicide Squad. Jared Leto.
No.
Okay. Are you sure?
Yes.
I'm going to go out on a limb and guess that Jared Leto is not going to be an answer to any of these questions.
I have him written down too.
Featured in Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
I love that soundtrack.
Final clue. Has recorded with George Harrison, Bob Dylan, Tom Petty, Roy Orbison, and many others.
Lance.
Jeff
Lynne.
Jeff Lynne is correct.
ELO.
And he was Otis and Clayton Wilbury in the Traveling Wilburys. All right, we have 4 left.
Yep.
Lance is running away with it.
Lance has 1.
Well, we're going to just play it out.
Yep.
For the fans. All right. Originated in San Francisco, California in 1876.
Guess Justice League.
You said 1876?
1876. Journalist, social activist, and novelist.
Forrest.
Jared
Leto.
No.
You're not going to take this seriously. You can just shut up.
He was part of the radical literary group The Crowd in San Francisco and a passionate advocate of unionization, socialism, and the rights of workers.
Well, if that's not the Justice League.
Most famous for 2 books. Both set during the Klondike Gold Rush.
I should know this, but I've drawn total blank.
Like Jon Snow, has a thing for white wolves.
Lance.
Oh, crap.
Jack London.
Jack London is correct.
I don't know any of these people.
You never read like To Build a Fire or any of those things?
No, I haven't.
To
Call
Build
the
a Fire.
Wild.
Yeah, Call the Wild, but To Build a Fire is like one of the best short stories ever. It's just about this trapper that heads out in the middle of the night and everybody tells him not to, and he takes his dog with him, and he knows he's got basically like a 10-15 mile hike through the Yukon during a blizzard, and he just says, I'm dressed warm enough and I can make it, and as he's traveling and trying to get to the basically this hut where these miners are or whatever, the rest of the company, he starts to like get cold and get tired, and so he has to build a fire, and it's just basically a story of trying to survive. It's short and you'll read it quick, but it's really, really good.
Thanks for the spoilers. I was going to read that tomorrow.
I'll wait for the movie.
I think it's what inspired the idiot with the rice who went into the wild. That's what made him want to go do that. So he died because he read that. Thought he could make it in the Alaskan frontier. Could not with rice and poison berries. Not enough to do it. No.
And when it didn't rain enough for the salmon to come, he couldn't catch any fish. So.
Exactly. He just wasn't prepared. Just thought I needed a fire. A shotgun. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Next one. Originated in Rochester, New York in 1945.
Say Justice League.
Justice League.
Poet, comedian, musician, singer, author, and actor.
Forrest.
You say Jared Leto, I'm going to smack you.
John Lithgow.
John Lithgow is correct.
Ooh, well done.
Has written numerous children's books.
Yeah.
That's actually how I knew him.
And played a complete and total creepy serial killer on Dexter.
He also played a great alien.
Mm.
Oh, and Third Rock.
I think it's season 2 or 3. I can't remember, but he plays like the main antagonist, like this serial killer. Oh man, he is creepo personified.
He also has a pretty happening kids album. If you like children's music. No.
Oh, I got
Fine.
2.
All right, here we go. 2 left.
Deal it up.
Originated in Merced, California in 1927.
You know, I'm sitting on these names and they're just not coming up. But
Tell me about it.
Won a Golden Globe for Best Supporting Actress.
is that it?
Wait,
See,
no.
see,
I cut my sentence off here. Hold on a second. Oh, sorry. All right. Won a Golden Globe Award for Best Supporting Actress for her iconic role in a 1960 film. Married an actor and had a famous daughter with him. Brought to the big screen, Meg from Little Women.
Shit.
I was hoping you were going to say Meg from The Family Guy. Meg from Little Women. Something I've never read, seen, or know anything about.
It's about these women who are relatively small in stature.
Well, I think it's like during the Civil War or something, and they all get married eventually, or I don't know.
Not all of them. Some of them die.
Yeah, spoiler alert. Jeez.
I'm gonna read that
I didn't
tomorrow.
tell you which ones. At this point, if you haven't read it, that's your fault. But also, you're not missing much.
Part of the most memorable death on screen.
Well, that seems pretty subjective.
I can only think of one lady that old. I'll take a stab. Pete. Jessica Lange.
Incorrect.
Yeah.
Ooh, she's got a really bad death scene in Dress to Kill. Like gruesome. But good guess. That was a good.
It's the only one I could think of.
So both she and her daughter have been in movies where they are hunted down by a man with a big knife.
Oh, she's the chick from Psycho. Damn it.
Forrest.
Rhiannon.
Forrest.
Jamie Lee.
No.
Rhiannon.
Rhiannon.
Janet Lee.
Janet Lee is correct.
Janet Lee.
Oh,
Jamie Lee Curtis's mom.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Nice guess. Nice one.
All right, here we go. There's one left, and then the tiebreak, which we're not going to get to.
Yeah.
From Newton, Massachusetts. Forrest.
Jason Levine.
Who?
Wrong.
In North America, I took a jab.
Oh boy. I'm sorry. It's not Jared Leto either. Just when we yells it out.
And it's not John Lennon, so
All right. Has appeared in numerous iconic films throughout his career. Pete.
Jack Lemmon.
Jack Lemmon is correct.
Ooh, good call.
I just went with the movies and decided to take a shot at it.
I knew so few of these people.
Is that the final score, Paul? Lance with 8.
Wow.
Lance
2.
with 8.
Tiebreaker.
Whoop whoop.
Tiebreaker.
The tiebreaker.
It's worth 5 points.
Originated in Newark, New Jersey.
Forrest. Juliette Lewis.
No.
New Jersey.
Come on, give me another clue.
His son bought a diamond ring. began his career in the Catskill Mountains? He has 7 children, but lots of kids. Hey, lady, you don't know who this is?
Lance.
Oh, Pete.
Lance.
Jerry Lewis.
Jerry Lewis
Jerry
is
Lewis.
correct.
Yeah.
Hey, lady.
Hey, nice lady.
Oh,
Well, Lance, you did it.
I did.
All right, so let's see if anyone picked Lance with 8.
See if somebody want to copy a jab.
I like that game. I don't care what you say.
Well, someone
I
picked
heard
8.
those are rare.
Someone had 8, but that was Joe with 8. Sorry.
Wow.
Joe
I didn't
Wiggins
know
with 6. John Sir Bob loses automatically because he picked someone that's not even playing. He picked Jim with 6. And Sam Sarah picked Lance with 5, so there is no winner tonight.
Well, you know what? The heck with you all for not believing in me.
But we're all winners.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know what, though? Even when I would listen at night at work, I would never get them when you gave the clues. When Lance gives the clues or when other people give the clue, I'm like, oh, I know that. But, man, yours are hard.
Yeah, yours are hard.
Yeah, but you did. If not for me, you would have never known that James Lipton wrote the theme to Thunder Game.
That is pretty cool.
Very true.
And I will probably not know that tomorrow.
So
that was the whole reason I did JL, so I could do the James Lipton thing.
Yeah, sometimes like I clue in on stuff like that too, where it's like I desperately want to just tell about some like weird factoid about some person, and then go for it. So I agree with that completely.
Yes, and jet lag did not begin to the 50s because there was no commercial jetliners before then.
So that means Lance now has to do initials at next week's live Origins edition show.
No, we'll have to skip a week, obviously. So
live from Origins, it's the Alaboom.
Yeah, I don't know how we'd even do that, but I'm sure we could figure it out if we absolutely had to. But
we'd all get a big LAN party in someone's hotel room and just go ahead and go for it.
Because hotel Wi-Fi works like that.
Well, hotel Wi-Fi is so excellent. It never has any kind of a slowdown or anything like that. It's
the best internet.
Well, and what's weird is that like whenever I would room with Joel Eddy at Gen Con, like he'd always pay the extra like $25 to have like their good Wi-Fi, because he would always be uploading his stuff. He'd come back. Like sometimes in the middle of the day, he'd come back and upload his videos, and then he'd go right back out and do more. He just would kill himself. And
has that guy just gotten super busy?
Well, I don't know, but anyway, so he would pay that, and then it would be really good. I mean, that internet would be really, really good. So
because nobody else was on it.
Well, maybe. I mean, but the thing was, it was like, so they have good internet. They just don't give you the good stuff, right? So. Which why would they give you something? Why would they give you the best stuff for free?
You don't talk to Joel anymore?
I talk to Joel on a pretty regular basis, but I mean, I don't know. It's just we kind of fly in different circles now, if you will.
He upgraded friends.
Well, maybe.
He hangs out with Anthony over at the Secret Cabal now. No, I don't think that's the case at all. Anthony, are we ever going to talk about our thing?
Yes, not now.
Okay, I just want to know if we're ever going to talk about that.
We are going to talk about it, but not now.
Okay.
There's a time and a place for things.
This
is not the time or the place, but it will be the time and the place when the place and the time happen.
All right.
When we talk about this thing of ours.
That thing. Yes, that thing with the stuff. And the guy.
So, with Origins fast approaching, besides Sidereal Confluence,
Tasty Minstrel is I think is smart when it comes to Origins, because I know Capstone is doing the same thing this year. Is they're doing a couple of big releases at Origins, and they did. You guys did that last year with Guilds of London, and I mean, y'all were the only people that had anybody running to your booth because you're the only people releasing anything there. And I think that it's a smaller crowd, but you cast a pretty wide net when you're the only people that has something exciting to get.
I think there's a few people that are still are releasing stuff. And I can't remember.
Capstone will have Lignum, and I think that'll be a big hit. Are you guys having anything this year?
Yep. We have soft releases for Samara, Lemuria, Okidoki, and Jiraku.
Jiraku's a fantastic game.
It is the hard release for the second expansion for Orleans, Trade and Intrigue, which once you play with that, you'll never play without it. It's just, it adds so much to it. Preach!
Well, with the trade, the intrigue.
And then and then we'll have a limited number of Yokohama Deluxe that will probably sell out in 5 seconds.
Did you have Yokohama Deluxe there?
We'll have a limited number of copies of Yokohama Deluxe.
I got mine. I like it. I gotta be honest though. I think I'm gonna buy a set of cubes to use instead of the meeple workers.
Why?
They're just easier just to pick up and plop down. You can hold them in your fist easier and drop them out.
Boy, that sounds like a really big problem.
That's not a problem. It's just a preference.
Okay.
Hey, Lance.
Hey, yeah.
By the way, good going with that black and gold sleeve for the Flow of History.
Hey, I like it.
I wonder where you got that idea from.
Why?
What are you doing, Aaron?
I talked about it on the show. Don't you remember?
Yes, I know.
Genius.
But
it looks really good, though.
I thought so too. Just like I said, it does get a little bit tough to, you can't please everyone. I guess is that it's the tough thing. That you just have to concentrate on the positive people. That are like responding to what you have to say and are getting excited about it. And that's what you have to focus on. And you can't let the negative Nellies bring you down. I shouldn't even really say negative Nellies because the stuff that they're like annoyed about or upset about or whatever. They obviously feel strongly about it and they have their beliefs and whatever. It's just if you're not publishing a game, you really don't have any clue as to the whole process of everything that goes into making those decisions. And a lot of people ask for the moon, and until somebody tells Michael says something, don't say no for other people. Like you might as well ask the question, right? Because in business, it's like you don't lose anything by asking the question. You just, if somebody says no, you say, okay, thank you. I remember he said, what are the chances, and I'm not going to say the designer or the game or anything like that, but, he basically was like, well, this game has been out of print for a while. What are the chances if we reached out to that designer, fairly well known, well-respected designer, not like one of the big ones, like not a Feld or something like that, but definitely has a following and whatever. What if we reached out to that person and asked if they'd be interested in us reproducing that game? And I just said, and I flat out said, it's like, well, I honestly, I don't think he's going to be interested because he's got his relationships with other companies and whatever. And I'm sure it'll just be one of those things. And he's like, well, are you? And he was just like, well, Michael said, why are you saying no for him? What's the shame in an email and just asking, starting the conversation. And we started the conversation, and he said no, but at the very least, the conversation was started, I guess. So if somebody wants the moon for their copy of Flow of History, asking is free, right? So, and any annoyance I might have is really misplaced, because they want their game to be as amazing as possible for every penny that they pay us. I guess I can respect that in a certain way. That's not to say that people apparently Kickstarter allows you to make a FAQ, to frequently ask questions, and people can click on that and they can get the answers. Yet you still get the same questions.
I've backed 50, 60 Kickstarters. I've never looked at a FAQ. Also never asked a question on the comment section of a Kickstarter either, or complained about a Kickstarter. I back them, I look at the page for 2 minutes, and then I leave.
The nice thing is that if you cultivate that community, a lot of the people, if they ask questions or if they get kind of grouchy or whatever, they get the community will kind of shout those people down a little bit, which is kind of nice. Then you, as a publisher, you don't have to, you're not the bad guy, so. Or they'll say, if you look at the fact, you'd know the answer is blah, that kind of thing. But that's good to know, though. You've never looked at the fact,
No. I mean, honestly, I spend a total of 3 minutes looking at a Kickstarter page, and then I press the back button and I forget about it till it shows up at my door. That's usually about as much thought as I put into a Kickstarter project I'm going to back.
I do a lot of clicking that. What used to be remind me, now it's the favorite button, which I don't know why they changed it to say favorite. That just doesn't seem. It doesn't seem to it doesn't make any sense, right? Oh, this is my favorite thing. So, but I'm not. But if it was my favorite, why am I not backing it right now? Why?
Maybe there's something in the back that that. When you do the filter. Then it's the surprise me or whatever the hell they call it on there. Maybe that generates something in there. All these people are backing it, but all these other people are watching this. So
yeah, I don't know. It just seems weird to me. It's my favorite, but I'm not going to give him any money yet.
Yeah,
you're my favorite.
CMON quit doing the $1 pledge, didn't they? Did y'all discontinued people being allowed to do that?
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to be standard moving forward, but yeah, we haven't done that on the last few Kickstarters.
You can still do it. You just can't advertise it, right?
I'm not sure what the legalities are on that. I just know.
I think the Kickstarter, the whole thing, the way it's set up, you don't have to have a $1 pledge thing.
No, you
but
don't
anything
have
you
to.
put in, you can change it and mark it as something else.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, will Cool Mini or not give you a pledge manager if you don't buy the pledge? That's the question, I guess.
Yeah, and I think the answer to that, I actually think, as an employee, a lot of us will back at the low level just to follow all the updates, be able to answer questions and do that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure the last one I backed that was at $1, that had a $1 pledge, was the Rise of the Moloch campaign. And it gave me the option to do pledge and then pledge the additional core copy, because you can't get the base pledge, but you can. We always have a pledge that's get a second base pledge, and if you back at $1, you can still add that on. So you could technically back I bid at $1, get it on the pledge manager if we allow it on that particular one.
Because back when I backed Cool Mini or not Kickstarters, I just backed them all for $1. But I heard that somebody said that they don't have that option anymore.
Yeah, I don't think we had it for Rising Sun, and I don't think we had it for, and I don't think we have it for Green Horde, but we did have it for Rise of the Moloch back in February, and I'm not sure if we had it for the one previous to that, which I think would have been.
All right, hang on, I'm going to see if I can back you for $1.
Yeah, I don't think it's.
Oh, you can't. You can back for $1. I'm just saying, getting the pledge manager used to be a thing. I could back for $1 now and then pay the rest a month and a half before I get
when
the
it
game.
asks for the shipping price, then you can pay for the pledge. It's basically whatever you back. Then when the pledge manager comes, it minuses that off of what you owe, and then you have to pay the difference.
Yeah.
Make a pledge with that reward. $1.
Here you go, you filthy animal.
So Anthony,
so we'll know when this thing runs out if this works.
So Anthony, I played Three Kingdoms Redux last night. Taught some people they're going to be demoing it at Origins, and I had a phenomenal win with the shoe.
I have played 3 times now, and each faction has won 1 game.
That's good. That's good. The shoe were tricky. They're really tricky, but I went with a huge military one in that game. So I put like 8 military units out by like round 5. And so I was just getting 8 victory points a turn. And then I had to end the game because there was no way for me to feed them and pay for them anymore.
Yeah.
So the Redux of that, is that much different than I have an original version. So
the component quality is better. The printing is better too. On the original one, I played on an original copy, and you know how they have the white text on all of the general cards?
Yeah.
On the original one, they're like kind of washed out a little bit. So it's not as easy to read when you have old eyes. The newer version, definitely the printing quality is a lot better.
He kind of linen finished everything if you care about that kind of stuff.
Don't. But I'm surprised how many people do. I just like it's like linen finish and this, that, and the other thing. I don't know. People do latch on to things that they're that are very important for them.
Well, it's what they're used to. It's what they think everything is. It's funny because I remember playing like games from Portal before they started making games here and distributing here directly, and their stuff was like, as far as quality goes that we're used to, was like crap. But like I found out like in Europe, it was like that's like really good quality. Like the cards were really thin, but in Europe, all the cards are thin like that. So it's like a weird thing that we're used to these thick cards, and good for them because that's all these people who do Kickstarters like, oh, you're gonna get the Black Core cards now. Like you probably would put the Black Core cards in the beginning, in the first place, but whatever.
Oh, my entire job is explaining to people what the difference between Black Core and Gray Core is, what Spot UV is, why they don't want linen finish on their game. That's all my job is.
Ivory Core.
There's good core.
It is. But most people have no idea what that means.
Exactly.
No.
But they know that this is black. It's like everything. It's got this has got fancy something inside of it. It's you're never going to see.
Yeah, but even Gray Core is good quality. There's bad quality cards out there, but if you get good Gray Core cards, it really just depends on how much you use your cards. Because if you have Gray Core cards, you have a good quality card in your game.
Do you think that we'll ever see like plastic cards in games?
Like usually, they're a nightmare to print. I'll tell you that. There's a lot of crap and errors that happen when printing plastic cards, and so we did them for 2 rooms and a boom. But they're not easy to print on. In fact, we even offer bigger than plastic cards. We offer credit cards, which we kind of pioneered with you guys when you guys did Coin Age.
Yeah.
So we actually offer, if you want credit card cards in your game, we offer that now too. And that was kind of something we pioneered with Coin Age. So
the difference between, like, for playing poker, plastic cards
it's a lot more expensive.
Are phenomenal. They really are. They're just
now
over paper cards. It's just but that's I play a fair amount of poker, so it's just you feel it. The moment those cards hit your hand,
right?
It's just
but that's why they need to be plastic cards.
Yeah, because a deck of the way I explain it to people with when it comes to cores is I tell people, I'm like, how much do your cards get used? If you shuffle the deck once, set it next to the game, and people draw out of that, then you're fine with gray core. I'm like, if you're a deck building game, maybe you want ivory core. But I'm like, if your game's like a Magic the Gathering where you're shuffling the same cards over and over 50 times a night every week, then you might want to think about black core. But other than that, that's really the only way I would ever suggest upping the reason you would get a core is how often do the cards get used, because no one's going to know the difference by looking at the card.
No. What was I thinking about the other time? So does anybody care about the Dice Tower Awards?
Did they announce them, or did they just say
If
what they are?
If you are part of the special voting group, you got the ballots are being tabulated right now.
So how many times is Scythe on the list?
If you want to be part of the Dice Tower Awards group, you are not allowed to divulge anything. So we're supposed to kind of keep it secretive. So if you find it, you can find it out there.
Then I think the answer to your question is, since none of us are on this list except you, that we don't care.
The nominees are out there.
Whoa,
Yeah.
I'm on the list.
winners.
I'm on it.
Oh, well, screw you guys.
I think that the Dice Tower Awards are a better barometer of what gamers are playing than the Golden Geek.
I could see that. I could go with that, I suppose.
I don't.
Here's where
I mean,
I
I
would get
don't-
into the elitist. What's a gamer definition? I mean,
I don't know. Well, the Geek Awards, I mean, obviously it's just that. I mean, people try to literally they do try to game
That's
the
a
game a
popularity
little bit.
contest.
Well, and they do try
Yeah.
to game the game. People are like, "Oh, we got to vote for Scythe for everything known to man. Best abstract, Scythe." You know, just like- so, I mean, but I mean, kudos to Tom for like there being an award that actually like matters, right? So
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Here's
The,
okay. So here's the nominees. And I'm not going to say who I voted for at all, but I'll just talk about nominees real quick, and you guys can tell me. I've already sent in my vote, so you can't change my mind in any way, shape, or form. So, best game from a new designer.
Scythe.
Infamous Traffic.
Kingdom Death, Vast, Adrenaline, Terraforming Mars, and Manhattan Project Energy Empire.
Terraforming Mars was good. I like that game.
V for Vast.
I mean,
V for Vast.
Oh yeah. Is the V silent? Is it Ast? The Crystal
yes,
Caverns?
it's Ast. You disagree with Forrest's?
I do. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's not the best game from a new designer.
I love
Anthony,
I love it.
Anthony doesn't
I
like
do.
cats.
No, I literally, for that category, it should either go to Terraforming Mars or Energy Empire.
Nope.
I thought Energy Empire was the better game, honestly.
Energy
like
Empire
Terraforming a lot.
was good, but Terraforming Mars was great.
I don't think as many people, even with the voting the way it's done, as many people have played Energy Empire, just due to the fact that it was not out there everywhere to get.
And that's the other thing is these awards people vote on is a lot of people don't play all the games.
That's true.
So most people probably played Terraforming Mars out of that group. So I can guarantee you Terraforming Mars won that.
So
Hey,
here's a question.
Forrest, how much you want to bet? You're a betting guy. How much you want to bet Vast did not win?
Oh, I know Vast will not win. I don't think Vast is going to win.
Hey, no. Listen, Anthony. Whenever we mention Vast, we have to make sure we say it really loud. Like, I want you to think Vast. Enunciate it really loud.
V for Vast.
I'm also probably not ducked because Terraforming Mars is the only game on that list I have not played.
Well,
Hey,
wow.
is Aldi on the chat? Hey, Aldi's
Yeah,
in
he
the
doesn't
chat.
join us anymore. He's too cool.
Doesn't want to talk about awards. He loves talking about awards. We're actually talking about games.
Yeah. So awards. Okay. So take this for example. Like the next one, best artwork.
Scythe.
Scythe.
Arkham Horror, the card game. Innis, Islebound, Kanagawa, or Scythe.
My vote would be for Inish. I think that game is gorgeous.
I think that game is not gorgeous.
No,
I think. Okay, wait. I'll correct myself. I like the artwork on the cards. Cannot stand that box.
The box is the same as the cards.
No, it's just on the box. It looks like it was a decent drawn picture, and then you gave it to like a 6-year-old to color in.
I agree. I think the box looks stupid as all get out.
All right,
V for Vast.
V for Vast. Justice League Joe.
I would vote for Inish in that category.
All right, best theming. Black Orchestra, Captain Sonar, Role Player, Seafall, Terraforming Mars.
I'd go
Black Orchestra.
Okay, Okay. How on earth did Role Player make it into best theming?
Because it is all about role. It's about rolling up a character.
It's a math puzzle.
V for Vast was not eligible.
It's a math puzzle. It's just a simple math puzzle. It's basically Sudoku with a theme.
You know what? You apparently don't play a lot of RPGs. One of the best parts about playing an RPG is rolling up a character, and Role Player makes a game out of one of the most fun parts of an RPG, which
it makes it not fun.
I actually really enjoy Role Player. So
I thought Role Player was fun, but I thought I would enjoy it just as much as an abstract.
All right, here we go. Best 2-player game.
Scythe.
13 Days, Arkham Horror, the card game, Codex, Star Wars Destiny, Star Wars Rebellion.
Arkham Horror.
Codex is really good.
That's a tough one.
I'm not a fan of any
amazing at 2-player, but it sucks at 4-player.
Well, it's a War of the Ring type game where it's never meant to be played with 4 players.
It's really not. But it is my favorite Star Wars game by far.
That's a tough one.
I'm not a fan of any of the games mentioned. So
really,
why not Justice League, Joe?
Because they don't have 18XX in them.
They don't have enough trains.
I think Rebellion will win that one. It wouldn't be my vote. But Arkham Horror, I only play it solo, so I couldn't attest to how it plays 2-player.
Interesting.
Still outstanding.
It's no Vast.
It's no V for Vast.
Oh, Vast sucks 2 players. Vast is not. It's a 1-player kind. I won't play it.
Best reprint. 51st State.
Great.
Escape from Aliens in Outer Space.
Oh, that's a shoe.
That was a good reprint, though.
Mansion of Madness.
Ding, ding, ding.
Robinson Crusoe and Arkwright.
It's going to be
This would be the one I'd bet on.
You yourself said that Arkwright didn't change anything. Like you can, like the reprint was. I mean, it's.
Do you want to know what it did change? There were only 500 copies before the reprint happened.
Well, some of us
changed the fact that people could actually play it.
We could. So.
Oh, I have both versions on my shelf.
Oh, look at you! But yes,
all right. Best reprint. All right.
Scythe.
No, I'm actually going to say. I think any of them deserve it.
No.
I will say that I really, and it's not because it's a Ignacy, but the reprint of Robinson Crusoe, the updated rulebook alone, is worth the price of admission.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because that first rulebook was horrendous.
Oh, it was cutting teeth.
I'm glad he started using. I'm blanking on the guy's name.
Paul Grogan.
Paul. Yeah, I'm glad he started using Paul Grogan. Paul Grogan does a great job with rules.
Does a great job with rules videos.
Yeah.
Best expansion. Seven Wonders Duel Pantheon. Scythe Invaders from Afar. Stockpile Continuing Corruption. Time Stories Prophecy of Dragons. Time Stories Under the Mask. So like 2 Time Stories expansions got nominated.
Time Stories is my guilty pleasure game, and I thought Prophecy of Dragons was my second favorite one, so I'll vote for that.
I'll go Seven Wonders Duel. That totally opened up that game.
What about Scythe?
What was the other choice?
Stockpile Continuing Corruption.
Really?
I didn't get that, but Stockpile is a great game.
I'm gonna go with I don't care.
Okay.
Same here.
Best party game.
Scythe.
It's not time's up. It's crap.
Oh, what happened to the lady?
She had to go. Computer was dying and she was tired.
Oh. Best party game. Codename Pictures. Captain Sonar. Happy Salmon. Junk Art. Secret Hitler.
Secret Hitler.
Secret Hitler.
I'll vote for Junk Art because that's probably the only one of those I'd play.
I don't know. Every time I saw people playing Happy Salmon, the crowd would always get huge because people were going crazy. So I'll go with that one.
Find a different.
People go crazy for car accidents too. They gather around those.
Whenever I watched people playing Happy Salmon, it looked like the games of Pit that I would play with my family, screaming and yelling at each other.
Yep.
Here's the problem with this, because Captain Sonar is really not a party game.
It isn't. It's just they're just saying party game because it plays best with 8.
Yeah,
it's not.
I was about to say.
But that game that's coming out at Origins plays 9. Is that a party game?
Well, that's Sidereal Confluence, the greatest game of all time. So I can't wait to be trading in the Elysian battlefields.
When are we playing that, by the way?
I'm getting that game.
The moment I buy it, we're putting it on the table.
just go to the booth and just say the 8 people that are standing there at the booth with you and go, we're playing this right now. And just put it right on the floor for the booth.
Yeah, and Daniel's gonna walk over. Lance, we need you over here. No. Sidereal. Get on my face.
I got 9 people. Let's go.
Yeah, I got 9 people. Let's roll on this. Anyway, it's weird knowing that $60 is going to Zev like the moment they open up the door. But anyway. All right, so best co-op game. Scythe. No. Arkham Horror, the card game. Harry Potter, Hogwarts Battle. Mansion of Madness. Mechs versus Minions, Pandemic, Reign of Cthulhu.
I have a hard time believing that Harry Potter is on this list. I mean, I thought it was a good game, but that game has some serious flaws.
It's got to be Mechs versus Minions or Mansion of Madness.
There aren't that many great co-ops that come out every year, though, so a mediocre one can make the list.
I think that's fair.
And it was fairly popular. I mean,
like Pandemic, Reign of Cthulhu.
I'd vote Mechs vs. Minions just out of sheer production value.
I would too. Although Mansions of Madness would be a really close second.
See, but here's the thing. I've played Mechs vs. Minions, and I have to say that it's actually a fun game. It's not just glitz.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not great, but it's certainly a solid game with amazing production quality.
It's so weird that they made that. Honestly, it's so weird that company made that. I mean, does that make sense? I mean, it's just like that they just decided, you know what the hell? Let's just dump a bunch of money and make this.
It'd be like BioWare just throwing down a board game out of nowhere, and you're like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
I don't speak for anybody but myself, but I do think it's a great point of pride that Mechs vs. Minions and the Scythe Deluxe Edition came out last year. That's just, when it comes to a manufacturing standpoint, I think those games really do stand out.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, well, you can throw money at anything, right? You can polish a turd. So people overproduce. Well, no, you can. People overproduce games all the time that don't need to be overproduced.
Right, but I will say those two games, it's not just that. It's the fact that, I mean, even if they were good, bad, whatever, just the level of manufacturing that can be achieved.
Well, yeah, but I mean, okay, I don't know. I guess my opinion is that if you throw enough money at something, you can buy quality, right? I mean, it's just eventually like if you say, well, I desperately want to have really, really awesome minis. Okay, well, they're going to cost this much money. Fine, here's this much money. Make me some awesome minis. I mean, it's not. I guess I'm not stunned that they were able to do it, or anything like that. It's cool that they did, but I don't know. It's I'm just too cynical with this kind of stuff. There's so many games that like. That put a lot of glitz and it's just like they could have, but they didn't bake it enough,
Yeah, who needs to deluxify a game?
Hey, I fully agree that and deluxification is our thing, but I mean, it's one of those things where now people are like, I told Michael I said you should have you should have copyrighted it or something, because like you look now, everybody's like talking about deluxe versions on Kickstarter. We started a trend. It's weird. So, but whatever. Best family game: Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle, Ice Cool, Junk Art, Karuba, and Sushi Go Party.
I refrain from answering the question.
Ice Cool all day.
1822.
I really enjoy Sushi Go Party. That game's fun. So Sushi Go is amazing because my daughter and I can yell Sushi Go. Best strategy game: A Feast for Odin, Great Western Trail, Scythe, Star Wars Rebellion, Terraforming Mars.
That's an all-star lineup right there.
I vote for Terraforming Mars just because that's one I like best out of those.
I mean, Terraforming Mars is good, and I mean, Feast for Odin is cool and all. I don't know. That one's kind of tough. I mean, none of those games are games that like if somebody said, "Hey, we're setting up this game, you want to play?" I'd be like, "Well, I guess Star Wars Rebellion would be," but I mean, it's so weird just to have a two-player game. So if somehow there was one person that really wanted to play Star Wars Rebellion and they said, "Hey, want to play?" and I'd be like, "Cool, let's play."
It'd be me because I play it anytime.
I agree with you though that none of those games are like my top of the year.
Yeah, like nobody. If somebody was like, "Hey, we got 3 for Terraforming Mars, we want a 4th. Do you want to join in?" I'd be like, no, not really. Just like I don't know. Yeah. And the same thing goes for the rest of them too. For Scythe, Western Trail, and Odin.
I haven't played Western Trail yet, but I've played the rest, and the only one that I would play at any given time is Rebellion. Because I really, really enjoy that one.
I agree with you. Yeah, I agree. I'm not going to really go out of my way to play any of those games.
Yeah. They're all wrong. Great Western Trail is the best of that bunch.
Yeah. See, I haven't played it yet, but I've heard amazing things about it, and I picked it up a couple weeks ago. I just haven't had a chance to get it to the table.
Okay.
I liked it. I played it 5 or 6 times, and I sold it.
Yeah, I think I've played it out too. Where it's just like, but getting 6 plays isn't bad, really.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's a game where there are finite strategies, though, and after you play 5 or 6 times, you just go into it and be like, I think I'm going to do this game. I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't like that either. I mean, Russian Railroads was one of my favorite games when it came out, but yeah, 5, 6 plays, you're like,
done.
Yeah, nothing else. This game has given me all that it has.
Most failed games do that for me too.
Yeah. All right. So, best production board game. Conan. The Others. Mechs versus Minions. Scythe. Star Wars Rebellion.
You can't not know that Mechs vs. Minions is not going to win that award.
I got a question. What happened to The Others? Did it just vanish? Did people decide they didn't like it? I mean, what happened, Pete?
To be honest, I don't know. I mean, it it did fairly well in the beginning, and it's it still does its thing, but it didn't take off as big as some of our others. It could be due to the content. I mean, it's pretty gruesome, and it has a much more adult theme, which so it turns off some retailers about putting it on their shelf. And even some reviewers made those comments that they liked the game but wouldn't play it because of the graphic nature of it. So it could just be one of those games that was just too dark for mainstream.
Gotcha.
I think also the one versus many aspect might have had a thing.
Sure. Yeah, I mean,
I was going to say the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
People are kind of moving away from the one versus many.
I feel kind of bad because I went through this whole thing about getting a replacement box for my box, and then I sold it.
All right. Most innovative game.
Fast.
Captain Sonar, Clank, Millennium Blades, Mystic Veil, and V for Fast.
I vote Millennium Blades because that
too.
game was bonkers and I loved it. That was one of the weirdest games I played, and I did not think I would like it, and I loved it.
The fact that you were like, I mean, it was just like I hate saying meta, but that game was so meta. It was just like, so it's
great.
Yeah, you're playing a person that collects collectible card games. That's what you're doing. It was just it was fantastic and so well done.
But yeah,
yes, I agree. But apparently V for Vast is Anthony's pick.
Not my pick.
Boom.
That's
not my pick.
That's Forrest's pick.
Well,
right, so are we going on the sheer how good the game is, or are we going on the innovation process?
Innovation.
Okay, but I just need to know what parameters were given to the
your parameters. What you think?
What I think. So most innovative game, and far from being the best one, is Mystic Veil.
I can see that.
No,
I think it's a fair point.
It's a twist on a deck builder.
And what is Millennium Blades a twist on?
Yeah, but
exactly, it's not a twist on anything. It's pretty innovative.
No, it is. It's a twist on lots of things.
But the Mystic Veil is got the same clear card mechanic that game about dead people is. What I forget.
Gloom.
Oh, that's
different.
Top of cards to putting cards over top of cards to make different stuff. I don't find that all that innovative.
Do you remember the game Ratikai that was like all the buzz at Gen Con a couple years ago?
Oh yeah,
never heard of it.
That had the clear cards. It was like a dueling game, and you had cards that you played on top of each other to craft your.
There's another one that did the same thing,
but not the same way. Different.
True.
That's another game that I think AEG thought it was just going to be gangbusters, and it's like
the problem with that game is it's really cool concept. It's innovative. The problem is they put out this is how the game works game, and we'll give you stuff that actually is fun later. Because Mystic Veil itself, the base game, the first one, when you play it, it's like, oh, this is cool. This is different. And then you're like, this is boring. Because there's no theme in the original Mystic Veil. None of it makes any sense why you're doing any of this stuff. Because that whole card crafting thing that they were working on, they wanted to see if people to introduce it without having people worry about like actual other stuff in the game. And that's why that game is like, oh, yeah, people talk about it, but it's like, oh, yeah, that game is really cool. But, yeah, we don't know what the hell we're doing because we don't know what this game is because it's boring.
Interesting.
Sounds like most innovative to me.
All right.
Innovative doesn't mean it has to work.
No, it doesn't. All right, hold on. I now, of course, have lost my email. There you go. Best game from small publisher.
What does that even mean?
Me.
Cottage Garden, Not Alone, Role Player, And V for Vast.
Arkwright.
Not Alone, baby. Not Alone.
Arkwright.
Not Alone was fantastic.
Arkwright was fantastic.
Well, that's just because you're like, if it ain't a heavy game, I ain't playing it. Yeah.
That's my. Well, I'm voting for my tastes, so yeah.
Well, that's fine, but that's fine.
That's because Clay is a sexy beast. That's why he's voting for it.
Yeah. No.
also true.
Not Alone. Not Alone is one of like if you can sit down and play that's just a great game.
Is that the opposite of one versus many? Many versus one?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just basically the whole like, you have your card set out, and then the alien, basically the sentience of the planet, picks where they expect the people are going, and everybody else has their cards that allow them to. They put down their card and they reveal where they went, and then if the alien catches you, then he gets to move on this track faster than the other people do, and because you have these two tracks and you both have a pawn that you're moving in towards the middle, and the first person to get to the middle spot wins. So like if the alien gets there first, he absorbs all the people and they die and they become part of the collective of the planet. If they get to the middle, then they escape, right? And so basically if you can pick the right spot where they go, then you can do stuff and you can hurt them. If you don't go to the right spot, they get to take the action that is on the spot that they go to. So it could be like to radio for help, so the rescue ship gets there faster, or they could use it to scout out different areas so they can get more cards into their hand. And the thing is, all the cards are played up, so you as the monster can look at the cards they have up, and you can kind of try to make an educated guess as to what they have left and where they're going to go and that sort of thing. So it's a good tension game, and it's really well done. And the thing is that also the players can talk to each other, but they can't go off and whisper to each other. They can't write notes because the alien has like sentience all over the place. So all the discussions that they have is like, you can't say, okay, go to that spot because I can hear you talk about it, so I don't know. It's just a really well done game. So really, really well. I mean, I think it'll be at Origins, and I think because Bonacore picked it up, and I think you'll have copies. And I have one. It's from Geek Attitude Games, I think is the name of the company. They're a European publisher, and I have one of their versions. And the game is, like I said, it's fantastic. So
on that note, I'm going to go to bed because it's.
We got one left. We got Game of the Year.
Oh, okay. All right. Last one.
So Game of the Year.
V for Vast.
Not nominated, which is bogus.
Adrenaline. Captain Sonar. Cry Havoc. A Feast for Odin. Great Western Trail. Innis. Mechs vs. Minions. Scythe. Star Wars Rebellion. And Terraforming Mars. And this is, before you make your picks or anything like that, I want to say one thing here. So the weird thing here is that all of these games appeared somewhere else on this list, except for one, Cry Havoc, which had this huge buzz.
Too early. It peaked too early.
And then now nobody even cares or knows what it is.
It's the cult of the new. That game, even like Rebellion, same thing. Rebellion and Cry Havoc came out too early in the year, and too much stuff has come out recently.
Well, what happened? Well, I'm not saying this is what happened, but Tom Vassell got up right before Gen Con and said, "Cry Havoc is my favorite game I've played this year," and everyone went nuts. And then he got up and said, "Terraforming Mars is my favorite game," and then he got up and said, "Great Western Trail is my favorite game," and people just moved on.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't just him, but that was like an indication of what all the reviewers were saying.
Mm-hmm. Everyone loved Cry Havoc. All of those games all got gangbuster reviews. It just comes down to what's more recently in your mind. What are you still playing? Are you playing the games from early year? Or are you playing the games post Gen Con? Are you playing the games from post Essen? The games that you're playing currently are always going to hold a little bit more weight than the ones that you played in January that were great, but you don't play them because you played them 20 times and you're done.
Well, for example, like Adrenaline, everybody was talking about that like that was going to be the game, and then that vanished too.
It didn't even have that much staying power, which surprised me because I thought it would, because it was kind of unique and different. And
Yeah.
Game of the
My
year.
spin would still be Rebellion on that list, even although I haven't played Great Western Trail yet. I still pick. That's my favorite game of the year.
My pick would be 1822.
Ugh. I can enjoy an 18XX game too, but they really aren't like the best games of all time.
It depends on what your tastes are. It really does. If what you're looking for in a game, I guess.
By tasteless deterministic action.
I would say they're far from deterministic. I just played 4 games in the last 2 weeks of 1830, and each one was completely different.
Well, yeah, but there's no randomness. That's what I mean by deterministic.
Oh, yeah, there's 0 randomness, which is, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
That's Joe's jam.
That is what I. Well, it's one of those things where why do you play games, and I play games for decisions. I want decisions, and I want them as deep, as meaningful, and as heavy as I can get them. And 18XX does that for me, and there's no other game genre that I feel does that.
Do you know why I play games?
What's that?
Have fun with my friends.
And I have fun with my friends.
Well, I'm just saying that you're saying, but you don't. But apparently to you that doesn't matter to you. You just want to have decisions.
That comes second. Yeah, I play games to engage my mind, to go into that place mentally, to just turn my brain on and get lost in this whole deep decision making apex of numbers.
So
I play games to seduce Lance. That's pretty much it.
Oh, gee. That's nice of you to say. So one last thing, and I'll let you guys go. So I did a review for this game of Cine Tempora, which is a pretty cool little dudes on a map activation. The activation thing is probably the best part about it, because it's like it's kind of like a rondel kind of thing, where depending on how much what you do, you move your marker further on this like time, and then the time moves forward, and you have to wait a certain amount of time. So there's like this cool strategic decision where you kind of look at what is likely going to go between you and when you get to go again, and you have to make up your mind as far as what you do, and like, am I going to get attacked, what have you. But regardless, it's one of those things where they're close to 500 grand, and they have over 70 stretch goals unlocked. And I have to just wonder, it's just like, did you really plan 70 stretch goals? I always wonder about that. When that's a lot of stretch goals. That's a ton of stretch goals. It's
like they made 2/3 of a game and then unlocked the other third of the game plus some stretch goals as part of the stretch goals.
That doesn't happen. That's a myth.
I just, like I said, it just seemed really weird to me.
That's a lot for anyone. I don't think I've ever seen a campaign that had 70 stretch goals.
70 stretch goals. I mean, that's like just a ridiculous number of stretch goals.
Were they like weird? Were they like weird micro stretch goals, or were they big?
Well, okay, so just since I have you here and you're, semi-captive audience, so let me just go to the stretch goal part of it here. Hold on, I gotta go back up here.
Yeah, I can't think of any stretch goals we've done that would have even come halfway close to that number.
What game is this?
Cine Tempora is what it's called. So, and they have stretch goals for number of likes in their Facebook page and things like that too. So at 50,000, you got an extra miniature for a new hero and all of his cards and everything as well. At 53,000, they did an upgrade for the mission card size, so they increased the card size. At 56,000, so these are really small increments. You get these there's these cardboard containers that you put on the map to for a line of sight and stuff, just basically 3D popping. 63,000, a new miniature for an enemy boss with their cards. 67,000, 3 new equipment cards. 73,000, a new hero. 78,000, new tiles. 81,000, new mission cards. 85,000.
They're not small little nickel.
No, I mean these are
actual miniatures.
They're cards, more missions, more minis, more stuff. So they're just adding and adding and adding, and which is more power to them that they have all of these cool new things being added.
How do you spell this thing?
SINE. Just if you type in SINE, you'll find it.
Okay, I got it. I found it.
Cinna Tempora is what it's called. I had to ask them how to pronounce it.
They're doing well.
Oh yeah, I mean they're getting a lot of money. Like I said, I made the video for them, and it's just like, and I had a lot of fun with mine. I only had a couple of missions, and so it was.
It's funny. I actually had a friend on Facebook that was considering backing this for his store, but he didn't he wanted more info on the actual game.
Look at all this stuff. Mark Kickstarter exclusive. That's insane.
Yeah.
Which Kickstarter are we talking about?
What?
Hey.
Sorry, hi everyone.
It's the Jaffe. Cinna Tempora. It's like just a minis game, like a heavy duty minis game. That's on. It's on its last 48 hours, but it had 70 stretch goals. 70.
Speaking of crazy games, I got a really cool game in the mail today.
1892.
No. So,
oh, you make me laugh.
This is a Grail game I've been hunting for a really long time. It's called Blocky Mountain. It came out through a German Kickstarter, and it's the coolest game. So if you like dexterity games or just having weird games, it's one of the best. So you get all these weird blocks, and you build these obstacle courses, and you either have to like kick, and you have these little spools with string, and you have to basically hook your people with them and then kick stuff to the end of the obstacle course or drag them without having them leave the surface of the obstacle course. It's pretty crazy, but I've been hunting it for a really long time. And if you like weird, quirky games, like stuff that like no one else has, this is one of the coolest games I've ever found.
Oh, well, thank you for that.
Huh? I like cool stuff.
The company?
I got a really cool game to the table tonight.
Oh, go on.
What is it? I think it's probably my favorite Japanime game that I've played, Alice Matic. And it's
this is more than 900.
Wait, time out. Were there other favorite Japanime games you had that you haven't played?
I like Totikoro.
That you haven't played it?
I like Mangakai. Wait, what? Oh.
Your quote and I said was, if you want my favorite Japanime games that I've actually played. I was wondering if you had favorite games that you hadn't played.
This is the game with all the Alice in Wonderlands, right?
Yes.
It's the Army of Alice's.
It's a really good game. Like, it's a really cool.
Is it Vast good?
No. Vast is my #1 game of last year.
Oh,
I love it.
You and Patrick Leader must love you then.
Oh my God, 4 or 5 players. Oh, I played that over just about anything except for Twilight Imperium.
Would it win best rulebook?
22, right?
Wait, what?
Would it win best rulebook?
See, I didn't really have. Yeah, it's not the best rule booklet, but I didn't think it was
Is it
terrible.
really that bad? I didn't notice it that bad.
It's 5 player aids in a rulebook.
Yeah, but it teaches you how to do nearly everything. It's just you got to search for it.
Right.
No, but this is a really cool game.
Later, Pete.
Bye, Pete.
Good night, everyone.
Bye, Pete.
Oh, Pete, before you go, my Godfather didn't arrive yet.
Okay, it's coming right after your V for Vast.
Did you get pick that one up?
Yeah, we're gonna ship you. I'm gonna ship you a V for Vast with a Godfather nightcap. How's that?
Sounds good.
Wait, whoa, Anthony! I thought you already had the Godfather.
No, I don't have it already.
I thought you got like all of y'all got extra early copies to talk about it before it came out.
No, we didn't get them.
Oh,
that's the other Secret Cabal.
Oh,
yes.
Oh, hey, so hey, Anthony. So I'm watching The Godfather again for like the 80th time.
Bye, Pete.
Right? Bye, Pete. I'm watching The Godfather for like the 80th time, and it's the scene where they drive him out to the middle of nowhere to shoot him in the back of the head. You know, leave the gun, take the cannoli.
Hey, watch! Don't run over the kids backing up out of the driveway.
So, I have probably seen that scene, like I said, 80 times at least, right? I've never realized that like the Statue of Liberty is in the shot until the last time I watched it.
Yeah, they're right on the way. They're actually right in Jersey.
Yeah, and so and the Statue of Liberty is facing away, so it's like behind her back. Like how I saw that, I was like, how cool is that? I mean, I never noticed that before. It's behind her back, and you know that was purposeful. You know they did that on purpose. It was like this little added thing to the scene that I was just kind of like, oh, that's really cool. Anyway. I mean, I don't know. I've been watching a lot of movies lately, and just moments, like iconic film moments, have been really sticking with me lately. I don't know why it is. I really like the moment where in Jaws, when Jaws is like my favorite movie of all time, and Pete just left, so I can't. That sucks. I was gonna ask him about this, but the moment where they do the rolling zoom, which, if you know what I'm talking about, is when you not only do you you like zoom out on the person or whatever, but at the same time you move the camera in, so it like basically it makes the back, like they stay, the person you're focused on stays exactly where they are, but the rest of the scene around it changes. And that scene where Brody is sitting on the beach after the girl was killed, and he was worried that there were sharks, and he's just sitting on the beach, and then the little Kittner boy, the shark comes up and swallows him, and there's the huge gout of blood or whatever that pops up, and he sees it and he realizes what's happening. If you know what I'm talking about, fantastic scene. So, but then again, you're all looking at me like I got a piece of wood growing out of my forehead right now. So apparently,
I'm not going to stand here.
About.
I'm not going to stand here and see that thing cut open and see a little Kittner boy spill all over the dock.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
That's a good movie, though.
Yeah.
We aired any grievances this week.
Viva Vast did not win Game of the Year.
Wasn't even nominated. I got a grievance today.
How does that make you feel, Forrest?
I understand why some people don't like it. It's lengthy, and it's the lengthier it is, the better the game is in this case, because the 5 players is really like you need all those roles, and it just makes I can't get enough. But no, I got my math trade results back for the Origins no shit math trade, and my grievance is on myself because I'm a freaking moron who doesn't know how to use duplicate protection.
So how many copies of the same thing did you get?
I'm getting 3 copies of Dominion Intrigue.
Okay, so wait. Let's back up. So I did a math trade on BGG like 3-4 months ago, and because they do one monthly, and one of the guys again did not know how to do the protection thing, and got 6 copies of Kingdom Builder.
See, that's why I don't even do it. I don't even mess with that math trade stuff, because I did it once and I had somebody walk me through the whole process, and then I figured the I was protected or whatever, by it, right? And so then, of course, so everything was going, and I was like, and so I don't even remember what it was. It was I think I was getting like a copy of Imperial or something. I don't even know what it was anymore. And I packaged up my game, and I put it in a box, and I got the address, and I sent it off, and it was on BGG. And I remember, and I sat there, and I sat there waiting for my game to show up. And then I was waiting even longer. And then after a month had gone by, I was like, yeah, where's my game? And then and then the guy said that he had sent it, but then he didn't have a tracking number and all this stuff. And I ended up basically getting nothing. And so ever since that happened, I was just like, yeah, I'm not going to do another math trade.
I do the Gen Con one every year, the no ship one for Gen Con. Which is
I'm
huge.
for no shipping, because it's just such a hassle otherwise.
I have a similar grievance, actually. This week I got on BGG. I was looking for a game. There was one guy that was selling it in the marketplace, so I bought it, and I contacted him and said, hey, whatever, just like I bought your game. And they sent me a message back like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that this is worth more money than this, and I decided I'm going to keep it now.
Ooh. What game was that?
Union versus Central.
Oh,
That's crappy.
You can if you report that, they'll prevent them from selling stuff again.
I know. I don't care enough to do that. I just thought it was a crappy thing to do.
You know, at least hit you up with a lie and just tell you, "Oh, my bad, I already sold that" or something. Just telling you straight up.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's even better though that he was straight up about it. So, I do remember though that I had a like my first 3 attempts at the why can't I talk? My first 3 attempts at the
Math trade?
No, the Secret Santa.
Oh,
my first 3 attempts at Secret Santa were just abysmal failures because, like, okay, so I would send off like stuff to the person, you know, and I would like the first one, like, didn't get anything, reported it. Like basically, like I got the response saying that they said that, oh, you know, they said they had something come up, but they're gonna take care of you. All right, fine. And then it was like 2 months later. And then, like, you know, I was like, so I reported it again, and then it was like, so then finally they sent me like some like expansion to a game that I didn't even own anymore. You know, just like, you know, I was like, all right, that's fine. And but I do remember there was this one where, like, I reported it, but I hadn't got anything. They said, okay, we'll look into it. And then it was like one of those things that, like, they send, what do? They send an email. They find out who is your person. They sent an email. They wait for it. And then they eventually, like, get it back. And they were saying, oh, like, they had something where something came up. They thought they had ordered it, but they didn't. So they'll take care of you. So then nothing showed up. I reported it again. And then, like, the person said, oh, well, they said they sent it to you, but the tracking says it's lost, so they're still looking for it. You know, it's like, okay, fine. So, like, I contacted again, like, in March or April, and I'm like, yeah, I still haven't got anything. And then they did, well, you know, it looks like this person hasn't logged into BGG in like 35 days, and it doesn't look like it's going to happen. And I was like, oh, so what happens? And they're like, well, it's like, they're like, well, we don't really have any backup Secret Santas at this time, you know. And I was just kind of like, you know what, just, you know, would you like, like, it was like one of those weird things where it's like, we can give you some geek gold or something. I was just like, yeah, just whatever. I was just,
hey, what's the exchange rate on that stuff these days?
You know, for a while there was actually worth something.
I had a similar experience. My first year doing the BGG Secret Santa, I got an opened copy of Betrayal at the House on the Hill that looked like they had played it like 50 times, and I got a copy of One Night Ultimate Werewolf. And I said, you know what? I'm not doing this anymore. And I've had much better luck doing the smaller Secret Santa. So I do like the heavy cardboard Secret Santa, and then I have like 2 other Secret Santas that I do that are like within groups of friends. So there's like 20 like friends that all know each other and stuff like that. And so we'll do like a big Secret Santa for us across all kinds of, you know, the US.
But Joe, if it's all friends, how did you get into it?
Oh,
I feel like I had the same experience. Seems like we all had the same experience. I did a Secret Santa, and I'm doing it for the first time, and I thought I'm gonna be real generous. I got like a bunch of stuff for whoever I had, and then I had updated my want list with things. I'm like, oh, this would be cool, and I had like one game on my want list that cost maybe $20, and everything else was like, I don't know, regular size game. And of course, they picked like the cheapest thing on my want list, and I got that, and I was just kind of disappointed because everyone else is talking about how, oh, their Secret Santa was so generous, or oh, they got this game they were really looking for, and I got this thing that happened to be on my want list that was like nothing basically. So I felt like that was probably, I don't know. I just bad taste in my mouth kind of thing.
Because it's all about, I mean, I know it's supposed to be about giving and getting, but you want to get at least something that makes you at least excited. So like when I did the heavy cardboard one was fine, but like I spent, you know, a good amount of money getting my guy something. And then when I got mine, it was fine, but I got the absolute cheapest thing on my list too.
Yeah, it's just, and that's the way it's turning into too, where it's like people are just like, well, what's the cheapest thing I can get? Well, my Amazon Prime, I can get you this expansion to this game that you probably don't play that much. I mean, I remember like, and then sometimes it sucks. Like I would get somebody that it's just like, oh, what's their most wanted thing? Oh, this really obscure French game that nobody can get a hold of. And it's like your number one want. And like, okay, do some research, see if I can actually get a copy. Well, yeah, I could for $130, but I'm not going to get you that. I'm just like, it's just it's ridiculous. And then like, I don't know, it's
my heavy cardboard guy. He had 4 games on his wish list. All 4 of them cost over $120.
Jesus.
So I do it. I've done it every year. Like I do at least 3 or 4 of them. Again, I do the regular BGG one. I did the heavy cardboard one this past year. I did the War Gamers one, and I did one of the board game group things on Facebook. And I will say that every year, no matter how many I do, I always get one really, really awesome one. So my heavy cardboard guy this year, or gal, was ridiculous. So I got Arkwright. I got Commands and Colors Napoleonics, which would have been more than enough. But then they threw in My Village and Shakespeare. So I was like, whoa. My war game guy flaked on me. Apparently he had some medical thing come up and was in the hospital. And that was confirmed. They did confirm that he was. And then he apparently told them, he felt bad. And I was like, whoa, the guy's been out of commission, I can't blame the guy or whatever. And he's like, so the guy who's running it sent me a thing saying, I talked to him. He said he's going to take extra care of you now because you waited so long, blah, blah, blah. I said, okay, fine, great. Again, nothing happened. I'm like, I thought maybe the guy died or something, And then finally someone else stepped up and said, okay, we got you a replacement guy. And now I'm like, okay, I waited all this long. And I got something I wanted. But it was like, okay, I waited and waited. And then this guy was going to take care of me because he made me wait. And then I got something, and it was like, okay. I felt bad for the second guy who had to buy me something, but every year I get one person who basically, if it says it should cost this much, they basically got it down to the penny.
Yeah.
On what it is, and whatever. I do it because I like doing it. I think it's fun. I mean, I am one of those people who doesn't like paying shipping, so. If you got a list of games and I go on Cool Stuff or Miniature Market or Card House and I put it together, $100 order for you at least.
That's what I do. I put $100 towards my Santas, no matter who it is.
I've had really good luck with my Secret Santa the last 3 years too. I got Twilight Imperium the first year, Robinson Crusoe, and then last year I got Elysium and Lewis and Clark. But I have had an issue with somebody who had nothing but obscure $180 games, and it was just like, hey, bro, how about you update that list?
Well, that's what happened with the Wargamer one, because a lot of people have a lot of people who were in the group that were doing it, have huge collections already. So the stuff that's on their wish list is stuff that either is not out yet, or it's stuff that's been out of print for so long that it's like the Grail game stuff, and you sit there like, okay, I'm at a loss. And you don't give me many options. And that's the other thing, too. You people, there's things like, make sure your list is up to date. You go and look, and they have 6 games on it.
And I do the same thing every year before I actually do all of the things and register. Is I go through my wish list and I at least add 4 or 5 games, because my wish list is horrendous to shop for, because I'm the same way. All of my stuff is really obscure, really expensive, really hard to find. But I always, last year I went through and I added Great Western Trail, I added Inish, and I added PAX Renaissance. Something that I knew that they could find in the marketplace and it wouldn't cost an arm and a leg.
Yeah, and I usually go in and I take stuff off my wish list, because there's things I have on my wish list just because it's like, hey, yeah, someday, you know what? If I got to fill in an order, I'll grab it. But it's not like I need to have this, because sometimes I feel that people go on the wish list and don't even look at because the BGG has the ability, you put wish list the must have.
Yeah.
And some people don't even do it. So all their games are must have, or whatever the middle ground one is. It doesn't, they don't change it. But I usually change it. And I'm sitting there going, I look at my wish list before I register, and I'm like, that son of a bitch is going to buy me this. That comes off the list.
Oh yeah, if you don't get rid of the $20 expansion card game, chances are you're just. I mean, I don't know.
The worst gift exchange thing ever was I did the board game Reddit one.
That doesn't sound like a good idea.
No, it wasn't a board game one. I did a Reddit one. There's a Reddit gift exchange thing. I did it like 3 or 4 years ago, and basically it wasn't for a large amount of money. It was like $15 was the thing. I said, "Oh, this would be cool. It's different." And they do is you put the thing in, and then you put down like things that you like. You like board games. I like coffee. I like the and you get something.
Coffee.
So they sent me an expansion for Cards Against Humanity, which was friggin' hysterical. The fact that I can't stand that game, and second of all, it's a freaking expansion. And I wrote that they're like, "Oh, you like board games? We play this all the time. I thought you'd get a kick out of it." And I'm like, "How do you like someone who's a total stranger get them a game that's possibly can be taken offensively by them?" That's like saying, "Hey, you're a woman. I bought you this dildo because I heard women like these things."
That's a good idea, though.
Happy Mother's Day.
Oh, jeez.
But I'm just saying, like, how do you do that? Like I like racial stereotypes and misogyny. Okay, give me Cards Against Humanity. Yeah.
Oh, and incest and rape.
I mean, it's just ridiculous. And I looked at it and I'm like, all right, you know what?
Well,
Yeah, less now.
now that you've got the expansion,
Yeah,
to get you the base game.
I mean, but the thing is, ultimately, what those things are is that stink is that it's still it's about giving, not getting, and it is about getting, but it's supposed to be about giving, right? So you feel like a jerk complaining about it. You know what I mean?
But I look at it the same way, and it's not even sometimes what's in the box, because sometimes I look at it like the same way that like my aunt buying me a sweater because she had to get me something, kind of thing. I got Secret Santa 3 years ago. Someone who I didn't know me, whatever, and the coolest thing that came in, they sent me like 3 or 4 games, which is really cool. And then there's a note in it saying there's another box coming. I'm like, what the hell could this other box be? And what they did was they have a friend who makes like chocolate for like baby showers and stuff. And they sent me 6 chocolate bars with the podcast logo on them. And I was like, because that was my avatar on Board Game Geeks. They took my avatar and they put it on chocolate, and it was the coolest friggin' thing in the world. Even cooler than the games they sent before that. Just like stuff like that. I always like going through the list of what people got on their thing. Because you see the ones that are ridiculous, and someone got $400 worth of games. But I like seeing all those little personal things that people put in the products too, and I'd like to get those things. Those things are cool to me. I don't know.
No, I mean that's cool that they put forth that extra effort. I mean that's that does mean a lot, right? When somebody
like I've seen ones where people like look up the person's profile or whatever, and they find out they have kids, and they'll get them some games for the kids too. And
I tried to do that with my Secret Santa this last year. I tried to personalize it. And so I sent him a message from the Santa. And I was like, hey, just want to know if you like anything besides board games. Want to try to, figure out, what else you do in your spare time. And he's like, I just play board games and I work all the time. I don't really have time to communicate with you.
Send me my
stuff. What he sent. Yeah. And I was like, all right.
The best was last year on the BGG one. I got Chris Kirkman as my target.
Oh, nice.
So I was like, I'm going to have fun with this. So I was like making him do things like, saying on his podcast that he believes in Santa and all this stuff. And then finally, I'm like, dude, it's me. He's like, no way. I was like,
that's fun.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, and I've tried to do that too, where you're like, okay, well, can you tell me a little bit more about you, or and it's just like, and like you said, when they kind of respond the way they do, it's like you kind of get the feeling of it's just like they're like, just shut up and give me a free game.
Yeah, they're looking to cash out and get someone something cheap, basically.
So there you go. All this negativity about something that's supposed to be positive.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah, when Christmas rolls around, if you join up, delete all the cheap stuff off your wish list, and make sure put a healthy amount of
The one thing about doing the multiples, I will say, unless they're very specific, is you do run the risk of getting duplicate gifts, which I've had.
Yes, I have
three
not
times
yet,
now. Three times now.
Fingers
Was that
crossed.
better or worse than? That's no worse than getting duplicate gifts in a match trade, right? Or duplicate trades.
I think that's worse.
That's your own fault.
I
But,
totally
yeah, I
get
got
protection. I guess I just don't understand it.
Yeah, I got Shakespeare twice this past year. I got one from the board game group, Secret Santa, and I got one from my heavy cardboard one.
combine them.
Mega
Or you could
Shakespeare.
just.
I just
Could
gave,
just have a
I
different
gave it
list
to
for
Paul
each.
and trade for something. You can't really do that because you go to your Board Game Geek wish list. That's what they use. Like the Dice Tower used to do one. I don't know if they even still do, but basically on that one, you just sent a list of 12 games.
That's cool.
These are the 12 games on my wish list, and then whoever you had could go look at your BGG profile for other options. But it was kind of like, all right, here's the shopping list. Pick something.
You guys ready to eat some food next week?
I'm gonna eat some food tomorrow.
And Origins.
Origins has good food.
Origins has.
People
best
keep
food.
saying that. I mean, I don't know. It's not bad. It's better
PAX
than a lot of
Unplugged has the
conventions,
best food.
but where's that located?
Well, I think it's just because you can walk to the North Market and you have all those options. That's what's so awesome about it.
And there's a lot of other really good restaurants right there too that are good.
Yeah, but having everything right there in that one spot,
yeah,
is so.
All right.
I had to, and there's the hot chicken or whatever, and
Hot
just
chicken takeover. Yeah.
Hey, you're a married man. You're not supposed to look at hot chicks.
and then the
so-
thing. Wait a minute. The thing that makes me laugh is that they have one. You can get a glass of water, or you can get tea like your mama made. And then I saw them like just giant jugs of Lipton pouring them into the dispenser. I was like, I didn't realize my mom made Lipton. Yeah. Anyway, Seth, what were you saying before I interrupted you?
So I was about to say, so we were just at UK Games Expo, and there was a little like mall right there near the convention center with a bunch of stuff in it, and we went to this place called the Gourmet Burger Kitchen, which sounds like fast food or something, but it was actually really good. And they had like lamb burgers and chicken burgers and hamburgers, and I don't know, it was pretty quality. It tasted pretty good.
Huh.
Cool.
I'm
So
gonna call it
the
a
Reading-
night.
Yeah,
The Reading Market in Philadelphia is the place to be. That's the place to eat.
The Wubba?
The Reading Market in Philadelphia. It's literally underneath the convention center.
Is that the place that does those pork loin sandwiches with the broccoli rabe?
They do
Broccoli rabe on it.
everything there, but yes, I don't know if they're in Reading Market, but there's this place. I know the one you're talking about, but I don't know if that's the one that's in Reading Market.
Yeah, it's like people in Philly don't eat cheesesteaks; they eat this. That's like the big thing about it, or whatever.
Yeah, I'm sure I've been to Philly plenty of times, and yeah, the two big cheesesteak places, people in Philly don't eat it.
Yeah,
It's all tourist.
Pat's and Geno's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. I don't know if I'm going to PAX Unplugged or not. It's going to be either PAX Unplugged or BGG Con. I'm not sure which one I'm assigned to.
Well, the cool people are going to BGG Con.
I'll probably go to PAX Unplugged.
Yeah. You are uncool. So, all right. Well, hey everybody, thanks for showing up. Sorry, Seth, you always get here late, but we're wrapping up. So.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, well.
That was it. I was at Frisbee, so we won one of our games.
Good for you.
What
Lost the other
time?
one.
What time are you playing Frisbee?
But barely. We lost by 1 point.
He's on the West Coast.
Even still, that's like midnight Frisbee.
They've blown the dark.
Frisbee League goes from 7 to 10. It's like 10:30 right now.
But we won't have a show next week because of Origins. But if you're at Origins, please come.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be hanging out with Lance.
Yeah, Roomy.
Maybe I'll do the show by myself next week.
No, feel free. I give you carte blanche if you wish to do so.
I bet I win initials.
So hey, Lance.
Yes.
Where can people find the podcast? Is this just on iTunes or is there anywhere else?
It's just on iTunes right now. Oh yeah, the Tasty Minstrel Games podcast. Go ahead and search it up on iTunes at Tasty Minstrel. Is
it hosted anywhere else? Because I don't know if I get iTunes.
Well, you can go to the direct Libsyn page too, but I mean iTunes is obviously the easiest way to do it. So
if you use anything other than Stitcher app itself, you should be able to get it.
I use something called Podcast Addict, and I don't have an iPhone.
It should work.
Yeah. But yeah, go check that out. There's 3 episodes. We'll be putting up another one on Friday. Mikey and I sat down and talked about conventions and a little bit about Origins specifically. So that one will go up on Friday. So please check that out and go ahead and rate and review and whatever on iTunes, if you will. And and Anthony, don't take off after we turn off the broadcast because I got to talk to you about something before we're done.
Okie dokie.
All right, so Okie Dokie from Hazashi Hayashi. Come and check it out at the Origins booth next week. But yes, if you're going to Origins and you're listening to this, please stop by and say hi and come over and, I don't know, shake my hand or what have you. Wiggy, I'll see you there.
Wiggy?
Oh, yeah. Justice League Joe.
Justice League Joe. Justice League Joe. We'll see you at the... we'll have to actually play a game.
Yeah. I mean, I'm taking meetings most of the time, and then filling my time with 18xx. Otherwise.
Oh well, maybe we won't play a game.
I'm gonna have that and PAX Renaissance with me. Those are gonna be my go-to playing games.
Wow, you're just a laugh a minute.
Hey, you can't help who you love, and you can't help what you like.
I guess you're right.
And then if he gets bored, he'll just do his taxes.
Yeah.
What is Seth doing?
Seth, stop! You'll go blind.
What are you talking about?
You're
Wash my hands.
That's just a preview of what Lance has to look forward to next week all night.
I'm washing my hands. Don't come in here. I'm washing my hands.
I'm washing my hair.
Don't open the door.
Seth, go to bed. Quit washing your hands.
No
time tonight.
I will say this. Seth is, like I said, Seth is the best roommate because you never see him. And it was cool because it's like I got my room to Origins on a LARF, and then because I just, in the back of my head I was like, something's gonna happen where we're not going to TMG isn't gonna get their hotel rooms until like it's too late and they're gonna be far away. And so I have a hotel room that's right next door, and then when I can ask one of the founders of the company if he wants to have the room with me, then we can kind of force everybody else to. So he and I can just have have the place to ourselves. We're gonna have the rockin' room, buddy. So
I know. I liked last year. We were like right next to the convention center.
Yeah, just like right next to it, and just a quick hop, skip, and jump. And like I said, I never saw you because you stay out till 4 a.m. doing Lord knows what. Playing Hanabi until 3:30 a.m. and then grabbing a quick bite.
No, that wasn't until 3:30. We played Hanabi until 8:30. We went and got breakfast. And we're still playing Hanabi. And then two of the people that met that night playing Hanabi got married later to each other.
That night?
That's good.
Not that night, no. But
after Hanabi, it was like a wager. If we win, we got to get married.
No,
who got
they
married
met that night, and now they're married. Naomi Lee and Sean Flynn.
Oh, I
live in Seattle
was thinking
now.
It might be Carrie Rundle and what's his name?
Adam McIver.
Yeah,
Adam.
I played Hanabi like twice in my life, and it was actually fun the second time because it was the people.
Hanabi's great.
But
you gotta have good people.
I do remember what Michael thought was hilarious. I said, when I did my review of Bomb Squad, I was like, it's Hanabi, but with a point.
Well, it's kind of true.
It is.
Hanabi's really good, but it hasn't got much of a point.
All right. Seth, hang out too, by the way. And you can hang out too, Joanne. I don't care. But anyway, everybody, good night. Thanks for tuning in. And no show next week, but the week after. And like I said, if you're going to be at Origins, stop on by. Good night.
Good night.